This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Postgame reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.
Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. Folks, the New York Knicks have been, eliminated from the playoffs. Eliminated from the playoffs. Second round, 6 games. It was a tough way to go out tonight, man. 96-92 to the Miami Heat. They had so many opportunities to tie the game, to take the lead. Well, let's just say to tie the game. They had so many opportunities to tie this basketball game. And every time the opportunity came, they made some kind of a mistake. They missed a free throw. They botched a fast break, every single time. And they just could not get over the hump, ladies and gentlemen. And then even down the stretch, they get another opportunity when Vincent commits the flagrant foul. Jalen Brunson knocks down 2 free throws. They get a stop, get the ball back, and we turn it over. We turn the ball over. Just missed opportunities all night long, ladies and gentlemen, and mistakes throughout the game. Coaching mistakes, players not showing up for the moment, and we still only lose by 4. If just one person shows up with Brunson, it's a different basketball game. Nobody showed up but Brunson. Offensively, nobody showed up but Brunson, and he needed help out there. 41 points from Jalen Brunson. You get 41 points from Jalen Brunson, man, and the other team's not shooting the ball well, you would think you could get a win. But just too many missed opportunities. That's the way I see it. Too many missed opportunities. And, there's a good future out there for the Knicks, but for tonight, it feels bad because, we missed so many opportunities. Steph, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Sim. I was talking to Tony Crow before the show. He already in morning shoot around mode about, he got his perspective on the season, and I hear him. But right now, it's just about this particular game. The Knicks had plenty of opportunities to win the game, and I know this happened early in the game, and we'll talk more about it. But you pull Brunson out the game, they go on an 8-0 run. And I'm not saying, listen, I get it. We were up by whatever we were up by, and you figure you want to give them a blow. As soon as you turn the ball over, as soon as they score a couple of baskets, I think you got to put them back in the game. I think in a game as tight as this, things that happen in the first half can come back and bite you. Yeah. And listen, Miami, what I know about Miami, they probably would have came back from, we up 14. They probably would have came back anyway, because that's just the type of team they are. But let them do it.
Right.
Let them do it.
Right.
Don't you take them off the hook. You know what I mean? And I just felt that Tom Thibodeau took them off the hook. And not only that, not only did he take Brunson out, he put an entire second team in there like we're playing Indiana in December. Like, when was the last time we did that?
Right.
So I didn't quite understand. Listen, to your point, Sam, we had ample opportunity to make up for that, but I just felt like we not only did we give them the lead, we gave them the momentum as well.
But also to your point, the Knicks were up 7 or 8 at the time, right? And it was the beginning, like maybe 10 minutes, 9 minutes left in the second quarter. Miami comes back and takes the lead. the Knicks come back with Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle. They take the lead back, maybe a 5 or 6 point lead, but they can't keep it, and they go down 1 at the half. The Knicks never tie the game after that. They never tie the game, and if they during that stretch when the bench was in, if the Knicks would have at least kept a 4-point lead, or you bring back Brunson and Randle, maybe you never give up the lead. Because I was disappointed that the Knicks only were down 1 at the half, because I just felt that psychologically it was important for the Knicks to keep the lead. And even if they had a 1-point lead, I just felt like they needed to keep that lead. You know what I'm saying? I think that was definitely a crucial mistake. It was crucial. You put those guys out there. They had Bam on the floor.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It was a crucial mistake. It was a crucial mistake. And I guess, let me say, it wasn't a mistake, I think, taking a look at it. You got a 7-8 point lead. Let me take a look at it. Oh, they cut it down to 4. Oh, let me make this substitution really quick. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to do it now. I'm sorry, JB, but I know you wanted to catch a breather. It's tough. It's tough, man. It's tough. But that was definitely a critical moment in the game, because the Knicks never recovered from it. I mean, they did recover from it, but never fully, because in the second half, and they did have those opportunities though, and they just couldn't. They couldn't get out of their own way. They couldn't get it done. Tony, man, your thoughts on the game?
I mean, I'm trying to stay level-headed. You know what I mean? That's why I'm trying to keep the season perspective point of view.
I feel you.
I mean, but if we just talking about the game, Brunson showed up. Nobody else did. You nailed it. One other guy is hot, and we win this game.
Right.
You know what I mean? A lot of mistakes throughout the game. A lot of self-inflicted wounds. You know what I mean? A lot of missed opportunities. I'm trying to be optimistic. I'm trying to look at it and say, maybe these are learning experiences and things that will make these guys better. But looking at the chat, and I know Nick fandom, I know what it's gonna turn into. And nobody's safe, you know what I mean? Nobody's safe.
Right.
The players is on the hot seat, the coaches on the hot seat. I'm speaking fan perspective.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
So I'm just trying to stay level-headed. I'm trying to stay
Yeah. I
cool,
mean,
calm,
you already knew it was going to be like that. You know what I'm saying? You already knew it was going to be like that. And there will be. Listen, I think after this playoff run, in the front office's mind, they got to be looking and saying, we're close. Especially, let's see how far Miami goes. Miami goes to the finals. If they win the championship, they got to be looking and saying, we're close. Because if we have one more guy show up,
Right.
We're possibly in Game 7 or possibly in the Eastern Conference Finals. They have to be looking and thinking that way. We're close. We're there. We just got to figure out, where do we get that next guy? Do we have to move someone to get that guy? Can we add that guy?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You got to be thinking that way. Josh?
Salute. Good evening, everybody. Tough loss tonight, and a tough series overall. I still think the Knicks could have and should have perhaps won this series. But like Tony and Steph was saying, I think a lot of it was self-inflicted, right? And you can point to many different things, coaching decisions, bad play from Randle, bad play from a lot of other of the supporting cast. But in a positive note, the Knicks exceeded expectations this year. They got to a place where I don't think anybody thought they were going to get, or many people thought they were going to get, outside of the super optimistic Knicks fan, right? So I take that into consideration. I think the clock starts now on Tom Thibodeau. The clock starts now on Tom Thibodeau to, at the very least, next season, replicate what this team did this year as far as get into the second round. And like I said, that's the very least. Knicks have to do that next season in order to justify, at least justify for a small bit, Tom Thibodeau keeping his job. Because I think a lot of the mistakes that were made, the self-inflicted wounds, really came from the coaching. But listen, still a really good season, really successful. And we'll see what the Knicks are going to do this offseason. But
I think some of it definitely came from the coaching, but some of it has to come from the players. Like I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example. On that last play, with Jalen Brunson turned the ball over, right? Tried to pass it to Randle, and he turned the ball over. If Josh Hart relocates himself, and you heard him say it on the telecast, if he relocates himself, he gives Brunson an easy shovel kick-out pass. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he shoots the three, knocks it down, or whoever, or whatever happens. But it's probably not a turnover there. You know what I'm saying? Now, there was a point when Josh Hart was open for a glimpse. I don't know if Brunson felt comfortable enough to kick it out to him for the shot, but you easily relocate yourself with the way that they were playing defense. You relocate yourself, and you probably have an open shot. Those type of things have to happen as well. You know what I mean? And that's something that a player can see on his own, like, oh, here's an open spot for me if I relocate to that spot. You know what I'm saying?
But Sim, I'm more talking about just overall, like us being in these positions overall, because I feel like we had the better talent in this series. We had the better talent. I just don't think the coaches used the talent to the best of their abilities, in my opinion. Right? I mean, obviously, in that key point of the game, you mentioned that play. I mean, clearly, Josh Hart's supposed to make a move and get to a different spot on the floor. But just overall, not talking about this game specifically, overall, we made too many coaching mistakes, whether it be rotation moves, taking Brunson out the game. You guys mentioned that. Different points of the series, not just this one game, the series that basically put us into a disadvantage. And when you play a team like Miami, I mean, the difference is clear. The coaching disparity was eye-opening.
It was huge
in this series, right? So I think that's the way I'm looking at it. And the players definitely share some blame. I'm not taking the blame away from them, but I believe the coaches are on the clock. Coaching is definitely on the clock.
Right. I bring that up just to say, you also got to look at, players have to be able to make decisions on the floor. You know what I'm saying? Because you're still playing basketball. And the coach's job is to put you in a situation where you can make the right decision and get the job done. You know what I'm saying? And, you've got to be able to make those decisions. Oh, let me relocate here. Let me do this. Let me do that. Tom Thibodeau didn't coach a good series at all, in my opinion.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm not totally convinced that we had the more talent on the team, though, to be honest with you. I'm not. And if we did, then this is living proof that talent doesn't win everything. You know what I'm saying? You can have the most talented team, but you need savvy, you need experience, you need grit, you need defense. Like, you need all that type of stuff in order to win.
And coaching.
You know what I mean? And coaching.
And you need the talent to show up because we got the shots in this series.
Yeah.
I mean, look at R.J. Barrett, 1 for 10, 10%. Julius Randle, 3 for 14, 21%. Quentin Grimes, 1 for 6, 17%. And that's not just tonight. The games in which the Knicks lost, we did not shoot the ball well. And I don't think it was just shooting, but players did. And I said it before the series. I said, on paper, the Knicks are the more talented team, but they have to show up if they're going to beat Miami. Yeah. And we didn't get those player performances consistently.
Yeah, exactly. Tony?
Absolutely.
I was just going to highlight how much does that have to do with our lack of experience and the fact that Miami, at least the vets, are super experienced. You know what I mean? We talk about the team that went to the finals, went to the conference finals after that, you know what I mean? And now they on this heck of a run from the play-in to wherever they end up. You got Laurie, who's a champion. You know what I mean? Like, that's valued experience, that knowledge, you know what I mean? Even as your game declines, that knowledge is probably more valuable than somebody who may be more talented but hasn't gone through the ropes yet. And we're still, you know what I mean? We're still going through it.
Yeah, right. And that experience allows you to make plays or helps you to make plays because you're not as nervous during that time. You're not as frantic during that time. You can be a little bit more relaxed because you've been there before. You've been through so many battles and so many wars. You know what I mean? So this was a great learning experience for the Knicks. The front office has some work to do, to make sure that they're putting pieces around Brunson because I think, Brunson, has proved that he's one of the best players in the league, hands down. He's an all-NBA player. He may not have gotten the accolades and been on somebody's paper, but he is, and he will next season, without a doubt. You know what I mean? And I have no doubt in my mind that he's going to be an all-star next season and probably make the All-NBA team. He's, Brunson is just, it's not enough words to explain. You know what I mean? And he's just reaching. He's not even at his peak yet. You know what I mean? He's still climbing, still getting there. But the Knicks got to find a way to, especially with the style of play that he has, the usage rate that he has. Teams are going to look at the way. They can do it all they want, I guess. Teams are going to look at the way Miami defended him. It didn't do much because it did a lot. It tired him out. But teams are going to do that a lot, right? They're going to try to defend him the same way. Miami defended him 94 feet. Tonight, they put 2 on him on the inbounds. That's how much attention that he attracted. And the Knicks never really capitalized on that.
Right.
On the inbounds, it would be Kevin Love and whoever and whoever's guarding Brunson, Gabe Vincent or whoever, trapping or making sure that Brunson doesn't get the ball. And then when we get the ball, we're still jogging it up lollygagging up the floor. This is an opportunity. Oh, we got 4 on 3. You know what I'm saying? An opportunity to maybe get an easy bucket, make them pay for double teaming that far down the court. You know what I mean? And, we never took advantage of those type of things,
right?
Which we could have. And they did that several times throughout the game, a bunch of times throughout the game, just threw 2 at them.
And the guys they wanted to shoot was the guys they left open. Like they dared us to make shots and we didn't. And the guys they didn't want to shoot, they put 2 on them.
They put 2 or 3 on them. 2 or 3.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times, and I know we get mad at Randle, but even Randle, he got the ball in the post, and there's 3 guys spying in. There's no place for him to go. You know what I'm saying? Now, Brunson is a little more savvy with his moves, so he's able to find ways to break it down. Plus, he gets the benefit of some screens. You know what I mean? But both Randle and Brunson had 3 guys every time he caught the ball spying in on him. You know what I mean? And then the other 2 guys on the opposite side of the floor are playing the passing lanes. So that if you make a pass, when you do make a pass, they're ready to rotate. It was tough for the Knicks to find buckets. It was tough for Miami to find buckets, but it was tough for the Knicks to find buckets.
Yeah. But Sam, this goes back to our lack of offensive creativity. Tom Thibodeau has no offensive playbook. His mantra on offense is simple: you drive and you trust the pass and you kick it out. There's no man movement, right? And we've been doing this the whole season, and it's been working, right? It got us up to this point. However, I just feel like the Knicks have players on the roster that they can be able to use in different ways to get easier shots, particularly when the shots aren't falling in the half court. Everything's so stagnant. We seem to be shooting flat-footed almost every time down the floor in the half court, right? So that's why I keep going back to the coaching and that, because the Knicks, to me, I feel like they had opportunities when Miami was doubling, triple teaming Brunson and Randle. You got to get people open. Players have to move. And I feel like it's not in Tom Thibodeau's philosophy to have that style offense. And I think that would have worked. That's the difference. That is the difference. That's what Miami did. Miami was doing man movement. They were moving all over.
And they scored 96 points.
Jimmy Butler.
They scored 90. They scored 90.
They got way better opportunities offensively than us.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that. We got a lot of open shots that we missed. We had plenty of open threes that we missed. Quentin Grimes, Josh Hart, RJ Barrett. They were wide open shots that we got. RJ missed a couple layups at the rim.
Oh my God.
We got some good looks. We missed them.
I never said we didn't have good looks. I said Miami had better looks. They move without. They're not shooting flat-footed. The Knicks are shooting flat-footed. That was our limitation offensively.
If they're shooting flat-footed, then that's the coach's fault. Go ahead, Tone.
Yes.
That's the coach. That they're shooting flat-footed. If you listen to what Tibbs says, it's really on the player. It's on the player. Make the right move. Make the right decision. Even when you do that, the person has to hit the shot. But it's about the player having the ability, the knowledge, the wherewithal to make the reads, read and react, and make the right decision. So that's a play. If you have the right player, it's gonna be the right thing every single time.
So the Knicks don't have the right player.
We haven't made the shots.
Right.
We
Not
don't have the right
shooters.
players.
We knew that coming in,
Yeah,
that perimeter
yeah.
shooting
I mean,
would be an issue.
I'm not
No
saying
doubt
we
about
didn't.
it.
I'm not saying we didn't have moments where we were bogged down, but we had plenty of open shots off of ball movement. We did the same
Man
shots,
movement, Sam.
the same and man movement. We had plenty of open, but we got those open shots, the same exact shots that we got in Game 5. We got tonight.
Right.
We didn't make them.
Right. We didn't.
I mean,
1 for 10, 3 for 14, 1 for 6.
We didn't make them. I mean, there were times, yes, I'm not saying we don't need more. We can use more, but I don't think that was the determining factor tonight. Because with all the ball movement that you're saying Miami got, they scored 96 points. And a lot of that is behind the Knicks making mistakes. Some of that is off of a broken play.
The Knicks, this playoffs, the Knicks have been one of the worst teams shooting the basketball, period. During the regular season,
right.
Correct, shooting, right? They also have not had that many assists in the playoffs. During the regular season, after we got the acquisition of Josh Hart, we start playing a lot more transition that allows us to score more points and get a higher percentage. But overall, Tom Thibodeau does not coach offense. His thing is about defense. And you see the difference, the clear difference between Miami and us. And we can talk all the time about Miami having the experience, and we can talk all the time about Miami having the playoff savvy. But the difference in this series, in my opinion, is our lack of offense. Forget about our open looks that we had. We're flat-footed. We're so flat-footed, and no players are not moving. We're standing around watching Julius Randle and watching Jalen Brunson save us, right? That's not a recipe for success. And that's why I feel like offensively we have to move, not just pass the ball around, but move without the basketball. Miami did a tremendous job of it, and that's why they were able to score the buckets when they needed to. Yeah, they got 96 points, which is a low number, but they scored whenever they needed to score because of their man movement. And I feel like that's where
I disagree because a lot of times, especially in the fourth quarter, it was Jimmy Butler going off the dribble, shooting a mid-range shot. Right. One-on-one. It was no other movement. It was Jimmy Butler with the ball in the mid-range, going one-on-one, shooting the mid-range in the fourth quarter. Off the glass.
How many times? But okay, so that's for this one particular game. How many times this series have we seen Jimmy Butler, whoever, drive to the lane and someone flash wide open, bam out of and that free throw extended spot, flash right there, and they get that pass there, we cover, and then they move around. They have Duncan Robinson going around screens, Gabe Vincent, Max Strus going around screens. How many times have we seen that?
I'm not saying that we haven't seen it. I'm not saying we haven't seen it.
But that's the difference. That's what I'm talking about.
But what I'm saying is I don't think it equated to that many more points. I think the Knicks just didn't hit the shots that they had open.
Correct. Because I think what you're saying is it makes a difference whether you get a shot on a pass or whether you get a shot when you're moving. To me, I don't think it makes a difference. If you get an open shot, you need to hit it. So it's hard for me to believe that the difference in this series was the Knicks got their shots off a pass, a swing around pass, and Miami got their shots because they moved and got the shot. Either way, you got the shot. I don't think it makes a difference. Now, I agree with you. Sometimes our offense does get bogged down. And we got to do a better job with that. And I think when you do have ISO players, they feel like they can hit every shot. So we do have to find that balance. I do agree with you. But in terms of whether you get the shot off a pass or whether you get a shot off of movement, to me, it makes no difference. You had an open shot and the Knicks did not hit shots. That was the issue for the Knicks in this series. And we knew it was going to be a problem because the Knicks shooting was not how they scored in the regular season. They scored off of second chance points, getting up volume, getting up the next. It wasn't because of their shooting. And in the playoffs, teams were going to take that away. And the concern was, would we be able to hit our perimeter shots? And in the games in which we did, except for game 4, we won.
Right.
The games in which we didn't hit shots like tonight, we lost. Bottom line, the Knicks need to get shooters on this, dependable shooters on this team.
I'll just add to your point because I agree, but let me just add to this point. We've known this the entire time throughout the playoffs and even in this series, we've known this, right? Where is our adjustment to that? Are we going to continue running the same offense that gets us the same shots, even though we're not hitting them? Are we going to continue to run the same offense, knowing that it's not working for the most part? That's where I'm at with that, right?
So, like, what's during the offense, Josh, is my question to you. What's the purpose of the offense? Isn't it to get open shots? So if you change to another offensive set, and you get an open shot. I mean, I don't get the difference. Help me understand what you're trying to say.
So open shots are one thing. I'm talking about the shots were still difficult, right? And the time within the shot clock, right, makes the shots more difficult. So there's pressure on that shot, right? So moving the basketball, moving yourselves, getting in open spots. Like, to me, that's what Miami had us doing. They had us scrambling around, moving around. And even though we did a really good job of closing out, sometimes I just think that was the difference. Their offense, the reason why they shot poorly throughout the regular season. They shot poorly. But in this playoffs, Miami moved themselves, right? You get a screen, Jimmy Butler driving to the lane. We come double him. Someone flashes open. Bam flashes. We close the Bam. Bam kicks it out. We're scrambling all over.
Issue, Josh, is
hold on, real quick.
They made the shots. That's the difference in the
standings. I think it's much more nuanced than that. I think it's much more nuanced than that.
They hit the big shots.
Right, because for me, with what I seen from them, the reason why the Knicks were scrambling is not because Miami did something special. It's because the Knicks were double teaming. So they had to scramble in order.
Just like they did to us.
Hold up. They had to scramble. The Knicks had to scramble, not because Miami moved. Not because Miami moved. The Knicks had to scramble because they would double team Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler would kick it out, and then they'd swing the ball around the perimeter. And so the Knicks were scrambling to get back into position to find someone to guard. That's where I see they got their open shots. Of course, they had some plays. Their screen and roll was working with Bam Adebayo, with the other guy. The other guy a little bit less later in the series, but with Bam Adebayo, right? But a lot of Bam shots tonight came from him shooting it in the mid-range with Mitchell Robinson with an extended arm. I mean, if I just don't see that their ball movement came from the Knicks double teaming and then the Knicks having to scramble. A lot of it was the same thing that the Knicks were doing, but they did a better job getting out. Their defensive scheme, I think, was better than the Knicks' defensive scheme. For all intents and purposes, Miami shot 42% from the field and like 32% from the three in this series.
Mm-hmm.
And we couldn't even match that.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't.
It was really like a mirror match.
They had one game where they shot the ball well. That was game 5 or game 4. It's the only game they shot the ball well. Other than that, they didn't really shoot the ball well. And I feel like most of the shots came from moving that ball around the perimeter. I mean, I agree. I would like the Knicks to have some more man movement. I don't think that's the difference in this series.
Right. The difference in this series is knocking down the shots you
get.
And part of the reason why we was getting shots, like Randle was getting shots late in the shot clock, is because the pressure that they put on Brunson for not having another ball handler, it took time off the clock for him to get the ball up. So that also, made it hard for our offense in the sense that instead of 22 seconds or 20 seconds on the clock,
12.
It's 12 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, JJ Redick was counting a couple of possessions. I mean, I want to see where they start their offensive possession at what time on the shot clock, and most of the time it was 12.
Yeah,
because that's how long it took Brunson to kind of get away from the double and find the open guy, or get to his spot.
What Outlaw Comedian is saying here is exactly what I guess I'm not getting across, right? Because it's easier for Miami to guard us when we're stagnant, when we're not moving ourselves. That's what I'm trying to say. And for us, it's tougher to defend them, even though they shot, and we did a good job defending them. It's tougher for us to defend them when they are moving all around the place and finding the open guy in movement. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't know.
I know.
Saying it the right way?
I know what you're saying. I just don't agree that that's the difference in this series.
Right. Because we still got shots.
And
we got open shots too.
And you got.
I don't think that's Tibbs. I think players got to move.
Yeah. I mean, and I still feel like where we really got outcoached was on the defensive side of the ball. I feel like Spo's defensive schemes was so much better than the Knicks' defensive schemes. from what he was doing full court to the way that he was defending in the half court. I mean, we can talk about man movement, we could talk about ball movement, but they were literally in the zone the entire game. Even though they were in man, they were still in the zone.
Correct.
From the way that they played their man. You know what I'm saying? They didn't full out double team Jalen Brunson. Brunson would have the ball. They'd have a guy coming to baseline or wherever he was, sending two, but not sending it so tight that he was able to get a pass off, right? So they're sending two, but one of them's kind of in the passing lane. And then there's a third spying. And then, like I said, there's two others basically in a zone on the other side of the floor. So if you send somebody cutting to the lane, okay, send somebody cutting to the lane. They're standing with 1 foot in the paint.
Right.
Where are they cutting to?
Right.
I'm not asking them to cut to the lane, Sam. In the zone, like, you know this, you're a coach. In the zone, one of the things you have to do to beat a zone is get to the open spot on the floor, right? Get to the open spot on the floor and flash at that open spot on the floor and then use that to your advantage. The Knicks don't do that at all. They're not moving at all.
This is what I'm saying to you, because actually in the zone, you beat a zone by moving the ball, not the man. You beat a man defense by moving the man and less the ball. Right? You know, that's how you beat a man. You beat a zone by moving the ball. The ball is what makes the defense shift, by swinging the ball. Right? But when you have a team that's got sometimes 5 feet or 5 defenders with a foot in the paint, the only place you can be is on the perimeter, because even when you move and cut, they're just standing here in the paint. Okay, go ahead and move. Because I'm standing here and watching, and we're communicating. Go ahead, Steph. I'm sorry.
Sorry, Sam. I'm sorry about that. But Sam, the reason they was able, that was their strategy for the entire series. The Knicks can't shoot. We're going to pack it in the key. If you're going to win this series, you're going to have to shoot the basketball. Yeah. And we don't have perimeter shooters on this team, dependable ones. And that's why we were the 4th ranked offense, how we got our points, because we knew we didn't have those type of shooters. And Miami saw that. Okay, we see how you like to score. We taking all of that away. You want to beat us? Hit your shots. That's why they was able to pack it in the key, because they knew we had nobody to stretch the offense. Give RJ. He might be hot one game, but we're playing the percentages. With RJ, we're playing the percentages with Randle. We're playing the percentages with Josh Hart. Grimes is potentially a good shooter, but he doesn't get enough volume. That was their strategy. And we couldn't hit shots. We got them. They gave them to us.
Yeah. I mean,
Josh, the only thing I'm saying is that Tibbs is not telling them stand there and don't move. It's up to the player to find that open spot. What did Sim say early in the show? And then somebody said, Josh Hart said it in the press conference, I should have moved and made the opening for Brunson. That's on the player to recognize where the open spot is and to go there. And that's going to either make the defense shift or you're going to be open for an opportunity. That's all I'm saying. That it's up to the players to find an open spot.
I just think we've seen this from Tom Thibodeau in 4 years. 4 years of Tom Thibodeau, we've seen the same offense. The Knicks are not doing anything special. Even his days back in Chicago, no man movement. That's what his limitations are in the playoffs. And I'm not blaming him, saying it's all on him. It's all on coaching. It's not, right? We definitely have to knock down our shots. I totally agree with that. If we had more capable shooters, I think we would have won this series going outright, right? But I still think there was other ways and other things that we could have done in this series. And I'm not letting Tom Thibodeau off the hook for his lack of an offensive playbook. I'm sorry. I'm just not doing it.
I agree with you. I'm just saying, no matter what you run, you're going to get shots. And when you get the shots, you got to knock them down. That's all. Shout out to Gavin from Duval County. It's been a minute.
Salute, Gavin. What up, Gav?
And I'm definitely not saying Tibbs is an offensive savant. No, I'm just saying that he's not telling players stay there and watch Brunson or stay there and watch Randle.
Certainly what it looks like, Tony. That's all. That's the only offense I've seen the Knicks run over the past 4 years, right? That's the only offense we've seen. We haven't seen anything else in the half court.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Guys got to hit shots, man. 1 for 10, 3 for 14, 0 for 2, 1 for 6, 1 for 2. Josh Hart 5 for 10. Obi was 2 for 5. All 5 shots from the 3-point line. The Knicks shot 28% from the 3-point line, 10 for 35. 38% from the field. You got to make the shots that you get.
This is not the time to go 1 for 10.
And, right.
It's not the time to go 3 for 14. It's just
Agreed
not.
about that.
And if you're going to add things into your offense, I mean, once you get to the playoffs, your offense is what it is.
But that too.
That's got to start in the preseason, right? It starts in the preseason.
Right now.
Yeah, I dig it. Yeah, exactly. Right now. But, you got to build those habits because you're not going to put something, like all the wrinkles that you see Spo add, they didn't just do this in the playoffs, right?
Right.
They all season long, they've worked on all these little wrinkles, in ways that they're going to do things. All season long, they've worked on it. And then when it comes time to use it, they know, we're going to pull this one out. We're going to pull that one out.
That's why I said the clock starts on Tibbs now. I'm not asking for him to be fired before next season. Like the Knicks exceeded expectations,
right.
And they got to a place where not many people thought they were going to get to. However, those limitations offensively from a playbook perspective are glaring, right? And I think that starts. The pressure is on Tibbs, I think, for next season to either replicate what they did this season, get into a second round, or exceed that. Right, I think the pressure is on them because I think the front office, like you said, they're looking at it like, "Yo, we could have and should have won this series." That's how they're looking at it.
Pressure's on the front office too.
Yeah, pressure's on them too. Pressure's on them too.
Listen, that's a bam lineup we got out there. These are just players that like to go downhill, rough, tough players that can't shoot. I hear what you're saying about Tom Thibodeau. I'm not saying I disagree. The front office has to. What's Thibodeau going to do when he has dependable shooters? I think this offense would look totally different.
And that's the other part too. Yep.
Right, and then I also think Brunson and Randle would have more confidence because if I'm Brunson and I'm getting in the key and I know I'm shooting 50% from in the key, I'm not passing it out to Grimes or whoever it is who's shooting whatever they're shooting. When I know. I don't even care who this is. I can make this shot. So we got to also get shooters that engender. I don't know if that's the right word, but that Brunson and Randle are confident in.
Yeah.
And I believe that they will look for them because I don't see those guys as selfish players.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree 100%.
That's why I was so surprised Brunson even tried to give up that ball at the end of the game.
I thought
it was shooting.
Stretch. I wouldn't have passed it at all.
I wanted Brunson to take that shot. The first thing that I saw was Josh Hart open at the top of the key. I thought he was going to whip it back to Josh Hart. As soon as he came off the screen, Josh Hart came up to the top of the key. I thought Brunson was going to hook it over the top to Josh Hart. But then he kept going and fading towards the baseline, and then somebody else came. I don't remember who it was. And now he had two people trapped, and Brunson, you got a 6'6" guy and a 6'8" guy or something like that. He wasn't able to see over the top to be able to get a pass off, and we end up getting that play. Randle tried to cut to the basket. He tried to stuff it in there, and there was the turnover. I agree, though. You know what I mean? If you had some guys that was just not, that's what the Knicks need, like one or two just straight up knockdown guys that the other team really does fear. Because there was nobody out there that they really feared, like, man, this guy is just going to knock it out. They need some knockdown guys like the way, you fear Duncan Robinson in this series because he was knocking them joints down. You know what I mean? You need some guys that can really knock it down to open and spread it out. You know what I mean? Because, this way teams can't clog the paint like Miami was trying to do. You know what I mean? It would be every picture that I look at of Randle or Brunson or RJ going to the basket, it's 3 or 4 guys around them. They can't get the ball out to anybody. You know what I mean? It was tough. It was tough. But whatever it is, they got to start in the training camp. Because by the time you get to the playoffs, that's it. You do what you do. And I thought all season long, I felt like Tom Thibodeau didn't mix up the defense enough. The very limited full court pressure, and maybe he's not confident in all, his guys, and I don't know, but very limited full court pressure. The defense is just straight up man to man. You know, when you're sending a trap, for the most part, they were able to see us coming so they could make the play. You know what I mean? There was, no variety on the defense either. I would like to see some more variety on the defensive side of the ball. I think we have guys that can do it. You just got to, from the beginning, maybe it's a little bit shaky, but you got to put it out there, try it, let them work on it, let them practice it a little bit, do it in the game because, for the most part, the only thing we did is send a trap towards Jimmy Butler when he had the ball. That's it. That's the only thing we did defensively.
Sim, I'm laughing because I know early in the season I was asking for the Knicks to do some different things offensively, and you said we didn't have the players. And now you're asking for the Knicks to do some different things defensively. And I think they do have the players to do it, but I also think offensively they do as well. I just thought that was fun.
Yeah, I'm a defensive guy. I like to mix it up defensively.
I get it.
You know what I'm saying? I full-heartedly believe that if you're a really, really good defensive team, I don't care what your offense is, you can shut down an offense and you can make it where a team can barely score or make it so hard for them to score that you take them out of their rhythm. But you've got to be on it defensively. And I feel like that's what this Miami Heat team is like. You know what I mean? They are on it defensively. They make it tough for you at every turn. You know what I mean? At every turn, they make it tough, just to get the ball up the floor. You know what I mean? Just to get the ball up the floor. And when you're taking 10 seconds to get the ball up the floor, you know what I mean? By the time, now you got 14 seconds left to try to find something and to get into some kind of a rhythm, tough team, man. Tough team. But I think, you got to take your lumps in order to get better. You got to take your lumps and then you got to figure it out. Julius Randle got to figure it out. He's got to figure out something. He's got to figure out. Now, I think, I do believe having shooters will help. You know what I'm saying? Because you won't be able to just stack the paint. Because that's what teams in the playoffs do against Julius Randle. Just stack the paint, and he can't go anywhere. Right? But he's got to get a mid-range jump shot. Like a Jimmy Butler type mid-range jump shot. If you get a mid-range jump shot, now you can pull that mid-range. You don't have to worry about if they're stacking the paint. But Julius Randle's got to figure out something to be able to perform better in the playoffs. Because Jalen Brunson needs help. He's going to need help. And if Julius Randle's going to be on his basketball team, he's a talented player. If you're going one-on-one, is pretty much, people aren't stopping him if he's going one-on-one. But in the playoffs, you're not going one-on-one. You know what I mean? What do the Knicks do with Julius Randle?
Do you think that, and I know Julius Randle's been largely successful, even, All-NBA player, but where he starts on the offense, do you think that's an issue? Him being all the way out on the perimeter makes it easier for Miami to set up and do whatever they want to do to defend him, right? And I know he's been doing it all year, right? He's become, a great player based off of what other power forwards don't do in the NBA, the ability to be able to take someone off the dribble from the perimeter, knock down a perimeter shot. But personally, for me, I feel like Julius Randle starts way too far away from the basket. It's been a problem since he's been here, essentially. And outside of the All-NBA year he had 2 years ago, right, that's just been an issue for him, right? And I think teams are defending him because they know he likes to be on the perimeter. Now, I'm not saying completely eradicate that part out of his game. I think that's an important part to separate him from the rest. But for me personally, I would rather see Julius Randle be more inside of the arc and, do more facing up on the inside of the arc from the mid-range, like you said, and then work his way out.
Yeah, but see, I felt in this series, they were trying to post him up against Bam. He wasn't getting past Bam. It wasn't happening. There was no way. Every time he tried to go, Bam is boom. He's there. Randle couldn't bully himself through Bam because, Bam is strong. I think that was, as a matter of fact, I think in this series, I don't think that they had him out on the perimeter as much as they could have. I really don't. I think you could have tried taking, okay, I'm going to have him out here on the wing and try to pull Bam out and let him take Bam off the dribble. I feel like they tried to put Julius Randle at the high post in that right between, the two elbows and then the center of the foul line, and this is where he's getting the ball. And he just didn't have the strength, in my opinion, to back Bam down. You know what I'm saying? I felt
I saw Jimmy Butler on him more than Bam. I thought it was somebody else other than Bam.
They switch on and off. They switch on and off, but when he's in the post, Bam is normally on him.
And when Randle had Bam on the perimeter, that's actually when he was effective.
Yeah.
Like, that's actually when he was scoring. Excuse me.
Yeah. That's when he was able to, go off the dribble, get to the basket. They still was clogging the paint, but he was able to kick it out, kind of get it, a hockey assist, the ball swinging around, especially you seen that in Game 5. I just felt like it was hard for Randle to score against Bam. He really struggled scoring against Bam, in my opinion, when he had the ball in the post. I think with Randle, you gotta, because of his skill set, I think you gotta figure out who he's playing against and what's gonna work best. You know what I'm saying? Now, do I want him just shooting threes? No.
Right.
Unless he's hot, but I don't want him just posting up out there shooting threes. I felt like the threes that he was taking today, were mostly contested threes over top of Bam or Jimmy Butler, and they weren't good. Maybe one or two were decent, but for the most part, they weren't good threes. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Like, I don't know what we do. How we get him? How do we get him? All right, you can go 25 and 10 in the regular season and 5 assists, but we need you in the playoffs now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking, and I think you're correct about a lot of things. I'm thinking maybe utilize him off the ball more, meaning, you run pick and rolls with Julius Randle and don't have him basically pop, like roll to the basket, like try to get him the ball in movement. Again, I keep saying that movement word, stuff like that. I think the Knicks can be able to do. I just feel like they depend on Julius Randle too much on the perimeter sometimes, whether he has the ball or not.
And they don't run pick and roll. They don't run pick and roll with Randle at all.
Right.
Ever. And,
right.
I mean, and you would think with the way that Brunson is able to shoot the mid-range or get to the basket, you would think a pick and roll with Randle and Brunson could be effective. You know what I'm saying? Putting them on the left side of, putting them on, I guess maybe the right side so that they're going to the left hand, right? You would think it could be effective if they did some pick and roll with Brunson and Randle. Maybe that's something they can work on over the offseason, and come in with that new next year. But they've never really ran any kind of pick and roll with Julius Randle and get Julius Randle, because Julius Randle can also pick and pop. So, he can roll to the basket, he can pop. If you utilize those two guys, I think that could really be effective in your offense. You know what I mean? I think that's something they should work on, because you got to find a way to get Julius Randle some freedom in these playoffs.
Agreed.
You know what I mean? 15 points in a closeout game doesn't get it, in my opinion. You don't get it unless you win.
Yeah, I agree. Some of that is the offense, and some of it is just Randle.
Yeah.
I don't think it's all the offense. I think some of it is just Randle. And I think for some players, it just takes them some time to become playoff performers. And he just hasn't been that. And I get it. They've been crowding him. They've been doing some things, making it difficult for him. But to me, that doesn't account for 100% of his playoff performance.
Right. Nah, I agree 100%. You know what I mean? He's got to continue to work on parts of his game. I really think a mid-range jump shot, we've seen him be able to hit it, but a real consistent mid-range jump shot would help him a lot in these playoffs. I mean, that's where Jalen Brunson is living, right? He's living in that mid-range. Boom, get in there, pull up, bang. Jimmy Butler living in that mid-range area because the paint is so packed and defenses get so tough, Mr. Cornerstone, what's going on with you, man? What's up? I know you're feeling a little bit depressed today, right? Tonight, I am too. I get it. What we gonna do with Randle, man? What we gonna do with Randle?
Cheer up, Kev.
First, salute to you, Sim. Salute to my brother, Uncle Fulio, and salute to the Queen. It's been a while. I haven't talked to you in a long while. I saw your tweet and everything. I want you to know I appreciate it and everything. I want to sound logical, and I want to sound respectful, and I want to sound with no emotion.
Are those things possible for you? I mean,
Hell no.
Hell
no.
We don't want you to do
Hell
anything
no.
you can't do.
I told you. I told everybody. I mean, it was right there for us. The series was right there for us. All you had to do was protect home court. All Miami needed was just to win one of our games, and that was it. So now we can inch on our resume us losing a playoff series where the other team steals one on our home court. All right. So that's what I'm going to say about that. About Randle, Uncle Fulio, I think I've, always tried to fight your opinion. I ain't fighting this time. Everybody except for Brunson, and this is including Randle, they can take a walk. They can take a walk. I'm totally in agreement with you. We need a superstar. You trade whatever. And I'm going to throw Randle in there. Here's the thing about Randle that makes me really upset.
Uh-oh, the president is back.
Here we go.
Steve Mills is in the house, y'all. Steve Mills is in the building.
Here's the thing. Sim, when you teach your players to, if they have a turnover or, miss a pass or whatever, you tell them to get back on defense.
They better hustle.
Don't worry
back.
about it. Get back on defense.
Yep.
I've seen Randle and I've seen Brunson make some turnovers. Brunson is already sprinting back. When do you ever see Randle sprinting back? Never. And you didn't see that tonight either.
I wouldn't say never. He didn't do it tonight.
He didn't do it tonight. When the game was on the line,
one tonight.
He didn't do it tonight.
Well, there was one play he didn't do it tonight. When he was trying to hand the ball off to Brunson, he turned it over, and he didn't hustle back.
But here's the thing: if your life is on the line,
I get it. I'm not disagreeing with you.
Is on the line, you're supposed to leave it all out there. And from our quote unquote big three, only one showed up, and showed up in a humongous way. It's sad the way it ended for him, but I ain't mad at him at all. I'm not mad at him at all because he was the only one that showed up. Randle went, 3 for 14. 3 for 14. 3 for 14. He only made 3 freaking shots.
It's been like that the whole
RJ
series.
Barrett, 1 for 10.
And RJ Barrett's had a good series, but he didn't show up tonight.
He had a good series, but again, when your life is on the line, you talk all that, mess and everything, you got to deliver. Why is Brunson different from what RJ and Randle are if they're supposed to be our bread and butter?
Well, Brunson's the bread and butter now.
He's efficient. That's why.
Yeah, he's efficient. Those guys aren't efficient.
And he was not about to let us lose. You can go all the way down the line of all the players for tonight and throughout this series. Bam told Mitch and Hartenstein, y'all gonna be my bees. That's what it was. That's what it was. That's exactly what it was. Bam said, I'm gonna get whatever I want. Whatever I want against y'all. And you will not do nothing to me.
He did tonight.
And that's exactly what happened.
He did tonight. There's no doubt about it. He got what he want, whatever he wanted tonight.
Whatever he wants.
Got whatever he wanted. But let me say this though, Kev. You don't believe that this team is on an upward trajectory?
Here's my problem with it. For half those guys, and when I mean half, I mean RJ, Randle, I'm gonna throw Quickly in there, and I'm gonna throw Obi. They've all been to the playoffs. They were in the playoffs 2 years ago. So you should already
it don't work like that, though, Kev.
What do you mean it doesn't work like that?
It don't work like that. I mean, did you look at the team that we played? These
Okay.
guys have, and I'm not blaming it only on that, but it's a part of it. How many times did Kyle Lowry get ousted in the playoffs before he became a really savvy playoff veteran? Jimmy Butler, Kevin Love. How many times did these guys get knocked out the playoffs?
Then that's bad. Then that's shame on our coaching staff, where Tibbs at the head of the thing to get these guys ready.
But what I'm saying, sometimes you getting ready is going through these playoff battles and losing. Like, that's how you get prepared. That's how you know how to handle it in the future. You're talking about, but hold up, you're talking about RJ Barrett, his third playoff series ever. Am I right or wrong?
For RJ Barrett, this is second.
This is second.
Third.
Third series.
This is
series.
third
series.
series. Third
series.
series.
Oh, third series.
Third
I'm
series,
sorry. Yes,
not
third
playoff.
series.
Third series, right?
Okay.
So we're talking about 5 games versus Atlanta, 5 games versus that's 10. So we're talking about, what are we talking about? 16 games, 16 playoff games, right? And what you hope is, you look at these guys that's on Miami, these guys, 30, 40 playoff games. Julius Randle, same number of playoff games as RJ Barrett. Mitchell Robinson, same number of playoff games. No, Mitchell Robinson, only 11 playoff games.
11.
Right? I mean, of the guys in our rotation, Jalen Brunson is the only one that really had playoff experience. That
And
has
the
a high
only
number
one
of
that-
playoff experience, right? And I'm not saying that this is the reason why Randle had 15 points and 11 rebounds. What I'm saying is, it's a struggle, and you got to take some of these losses. It's not just about the coach didn't have him prepared. Could he have had him better prepared? Maybe so. And I'm not taking anything away from Spo, and I'm not saying that Tibbs, coached, did a good job coaching, but you're still dealing with an inexperienced playoff team. That you got to take your lumps sometimes to get there, and by taking these lumps, you figure out what exactly you need too.
I shouldn't have
Because you're not going to get it all done
I
at
shouldn't
one
have to
time.
preach. I shouldn't have to preach effort. I shouldn't have to do that. Alan High made a great point. I think it was game 3. Yeah, it was game 3. He was imploring. Tibbs was imploring his team to throw to give some intensity.
Yeah.
Where are you? I shouldn't have to say that to 3 of my main guys.
That's players. Yeah.
Yes.
I get it, Kev. But it still takes learning. You're in the playoffs. It's an entirely different thing. So you got to learn a little bit. You got to take your lumps. You get beat up. It's tough. It's tough. The playoffs ain't easy. This is the reason why it's so hard. When you hear players say it's hard to win a championship, this is the reason why. It's hard, and you got to figure out how to play. You know what I mean? We have a team that I feel like is going up. I know they got eliminated this year, but they're getting better. They're going up. Now you got to find the pieces that help get them to another level.
Sam, do you think that's guaranteed? Like, somebody, I'm not sure where I read it. It was, I don't know, it might have even been on Twitter. And the gist of it was, take advantage of the opportunities you have this year in the playoffs, because this idea that you're on a trajectory and next year you're just going to keep going up and up and up doesn't always happen.
You're right.
And then he mentioned a few other teams where you thought, recent teams, I think maybe even Toronto from last year, where you just thought like, wow, it's a really good team. They were on their way. Atlanta two years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe it, but it's not guaranteed. I'll just put it
Right.
that way.
Nah,
Look at us. We made the
I wanna-
playoffs 2 years ago, and we couldn't even get in the play-in last year. But you know what I mean? So, I mean, nothing is ever guaranteed.
Okay, so I have a question for the
I
4
agree.
y'all.
You always
I have a
take
question for the
advantage
four
of the
y'all.
opportunity when it's in front of you. But
I have a question for the 4 y'all.
Mhm.
Would you agree that this team was better than that team 2 years ago?
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Way better.
That's all I'm saying.
No.
So what are you saying? What's your point?
Yeah.
As well.
My point is, you have a guy, a leader in Brunson who's been to the Western Conference Finals. All right. And you have a bunch of players, half of them, again, I'm going to keep going back to it. They've already been in the playoffs. They've already been.
You missing some key parts
What
there.
what point am I missing? Yeah. What am I missing? What am I missing?
Because even though this team as a collective unit is better than the team 2 years ago, the competition matters, right? Who they play against matters. Everything is different from year to year. You can't just arbitrarily say, well, this team is better than the team 2 years ago, so they should automatically.
Okay, we had a guy.
Wait, Kev.
In Atlanta two years ago as well.
Even if you want to play that game, Kev, we leveled up from 2 years ago. Right. We got bounced in the first round, and we beat the first round opponent this year, and was competitive in round two. You know what I mean? We could have folded at home. We didn't. We got that one out, and we had opportunities to at least, you know what I mean, take going to overtime tonight.
All night. We were shooting ourselves in the foot all night.
The point is, we leveled up from 2 years ago. So even if you want to play that game, like, you know what I mean, we got better from 2 years ago. Right. So now next time, let's see if we get better, or at least be level at the second round. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How do you? Okay, Tone, I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
One second, Kev. 1 second, because what I wanted to jump in and say is co-host Kev in the building tonight.
I'm sorry, man. I'm just so fired up, man.
Because
you know why? Because we had a legitimate chance.
We did.
A legitimate chance to go to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yes, we did.
We had a legitimate chance. It was rolled out for us. We didn't have to play a Milwaukee team. We didn't have to do that.
We might have did.
And we lost against Miami, Kev.
But Kev, we might have did better against Milwaukee. Because, I mean, this team actually eliminated Milwaukee. So, I mean, but what I wanted to say is, you know, just, Steph, you were asking about the upward trajectory thing. And, you know, what I look at is the team getting better each year every time they step out there, right? You know, when I'm looking at the upward trajectory. And, I mean, I know, you know, when I look at last year, you know, I still do feel last year, if we were healthy, we would have made the playoffs, right? Maybe through the play-in, but I think we would have got in. That's just my feeling. You know, this year we were, for the most part, healthy. We got a guy in Jalen Brunson, and I feel like we took a step up. We got into the playoffs again. We made it to the second round. I feel like that's, you know, going upwards. And so I feel like, you know, you look at the team, I mean, you're not going to stay pat. You're not just going to be like, oh, yeah, you know, this is a championship level team. You know, you got some things you got to do. You can see where some of your holes are, right? And now you figure out, where do we add, you know, what do we got to do to get there? You know what I mean? And, you know, when looking at guys like Randle and Barrett, yeah, of course you're going to look at their playoff performances and you're going to say, all right, we need another guy, but do we need to add a guy to these guys, or do we need to replace these guys with these guys with a guy? I would like for them to keep, you know, I don't want a big roster change, though. I don't want major changeover. I want them to add pieces that's going to help them, you know, add pieces to the roster. And sometimes it's going to mean you're going to have to move somebody. You know what I mean? But I think they're moving up. And if you add more pieces, you got a guy I think you can look at. I think you can look at Brunson and say he's a franchise guy. I feel like that. When I look at at what he's done throughout the season and in the playoffs, I feel like he's a franchise guy. And now you can really add pieces around him and construct this team. You know what I mean? Because I feel like you got the rock to build on now. You know, you got a foundation.
Let me ask this question, Josh. Let me ask this question.
Go ahead.
You think Quickly's a part of that? Is that Rock? You think Quickly's one? Because he went from being this, you know, considered the sixth man of the year to looking like a novice through both of the first and second round.
I'm gonna say it again, man. It's the playoffs. You got to learn how to play, man. It's tough.
Really?
Yes, really. It's tough. I know. Look, Kev, I know when you was in college, when you got in the playoffs your first time, you spanked everybody. I dig that, but everybody's not you, Kev. Everybody's not you.
In my first year, we had a bad season. My second season, we went to the Nationals. Unfortunately, we lost and everything. But yeah.
Doesn't happen like that all the time, Kev. It's not going to
I'm
be
just
like
saying.
that.
I mean, you think Quickly's confidence is shot
No,
after the
no,
performance he had?
no. Quickly is a confident dude. You know what I'm saying? He's going to believe that he can come back and, conquer the playoffs. I don't think his confidence is shot at all.
Might have lost a little bit of money though, but that's a different.
He might have lost some of that. Pockets might be a little bit lighter, but
hey, we save money. We save money. That's what happened.
In regards to the trajectory thing, trajectory. I can't even say the word right now.
Trajectory.
No,
it's not trajectory.
In regards to that, I do agree. I think that the team is going to progressively get better, but it's an unfair business, unfortunately, in the NBA, and I think the results matter. And I think the front office is going to look, and that's why I go back to this. Next season, Tibbs has to either get back to this point or, exceed as far as the success of the team, or else I think he's going to be the first person that's going to be kind of axed, right? Even though the team can be better. The win total can be better in the regular season. There can be, definitely some tries from RJ taking that next step into whatever he's going to become, and other pieces like that as well. But I think that the results matter. Nick Nurse and Frank Vogel won championships, and Budenholzer won championships, and less than 3 years later, they're not coaches anymore, right? So no matter where the Knicks are going to end up this season, whether it's the Eastern Conference Finals, I still think, as far as the trajectory thing goes, next year it would have been pressure on the Knicks to either get back to that same level. Yeah. Regardless of not whether we see the team getting better or not. Unfortunately, that's just the nature of the business.
Well, I mean, but see, I agree. To me, being on an upwards trajectory includes doing better in the playoffs. That has to be doing better, right? Does it mean we got to get to the Eastern Conference Finals? I don't know, but we at least got to get back here and then, maybe even take it to 7 games. Right. You know what I'm saying? And, that type of a thing. I think you got to be there in order to say, this team is close. Right.
But I think,
but not going with them.
I think you can't just put it all on the coach. Like, if the Knicks, say, for example, lose in the second round next year, and then you look and you see that players didn't show up in the series, you're going to put that all on the coach. I'm not saying that he's not going to take some blame for it, but players have to show up. Randle shows up in this series. We get a bit more perimeter shooting in this series. The Knicks are on to the Eastern Conference Finals. Yep. You can talk all we want to talk about Spo and all of the things that they're going to the Eastern Conference Finals because they are shooting better now than they shot in the regular season. That's why that's part of the reason.
I agree with you.
I agree.
I agree with you. I'm just talking about the nature of the business, and it's easier to get rid of a coach, right? And you can say, well, the coach didn't put me, or the front office can look at it and say the coach didn't put them in the correct position to succeed. They should have adjusted, things of that nature. Then they get rid of a ton of players that are not playing well. I just think it's in the business sense of it.
No, because I'm already upset about Nick Nurse and all of those guys you just talked about. Like, that's just how it is in the NBA. It's not even whether you're a good coach or not. Is if you winning, you get to stay, and if you losing, you going home. That's it.
And it's only a select few franchises that keep their coaches around, like Popovich, Spo, stuff like that.
I would like to see more of that if you have a quality coach. But anyway, what I want is
I would like to see more of that too. If you have a quality coach, man.
If you have a quality coach, the coach got to go through the ups and downs of it as well, just like a player. But they don't.
And you can make the case that Spo isn't the coach that he is right now if he doesn't keep his job in Miami for as long as he has.
And go through those ups and downs.
Exactly, because every year you get better, you learn, and you still have your job. You got the support of the front office. You know what I mean? And you're able to build and keep a culture that way. You know what I'm saying? If you're constantly going through coaches and going through people, you're always changing your culture because you got a new guy in. You got somebody else. You know what I mean? But I do agree. You know what I mean? If the Knicks don't get to at least this point next year, then Tom Thibodeau, they're going to be looking at Tom Thibodeau. Now, this would be, that'll be what, year 4 for Tibbs next year? Right?
Yes.
The year 4 for him. So, they'll probably let him. I would think that they would probably let him.
I think this is year 4. This was just year. No.
This is coming up. Because remember, he took us to the playoffs his first year, and then we didn't go last
Oh,
year.
that's right.
and
That was his
the
first. You're thinking about him and Randle being on the same. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, no, this is year
That's,
3.
that's why I kept throwing up the 3 fingers earlier where you kept saying.
Yeah.
So next year will be 4. Next year will be the 4.
Next year will be 4.
Got
But, 2 out of the 3 seasons that he's been here, the Knicks have been in the playoffs. That's
But Sam,
That
let me.
says something.
I gotta ask this.
But
Yep.
a less than ideal roster, if you ask me.
Yeah.
They really need to. I don't know who goes or if anybody have to go, but they have to do something with the roster, because not only do we need more perimeter shooting, we need more ball handling. You got to have your small forward and your shooting guard be able to help bring the ball up the court. I mean, my goodness.
We
Absolutely.
need ball handling because you know what?
Absolutely.
I can guarantee
Yes.
you that was one of the things on their board, and this is where we missed quickly. Shooting well or not,
Mhm.
we missed that ball handling because there are times where you can put Quickly out there with Brunson
Right.
so that he can help with the ball handling. You know what I'm saying? And without Quickly, I'm sure they were like, oh, yeah, we're trapping all day long because we don't trust RJ. We don't trust Randle. You know what I'm saying? We don't trust that Josh Hart. We don't trust Grimes, that they're going to be able to do anything.
Especially against pressure.
Yeah. Yep.
I felt like Alec Burke would have been a nice guy.
No doubt. He
I'm dead
would've.
serious
He would
because-
have helped bring the ball, no
because
doubt.
he could shoot the ball, he could handle the ball, and he attacks the rim. And those are 3 things that we could have used.
Yeah.
But I was saying that like in replace of, instead of Fournier, like I would have preferred Burks on this roster, and he would have played that situational play when you know what I mean. Play when I.
But this is why people like, and but a lot of people like last year or whatever it was, they were like, oh, we want Alec Burks off the team. Everyone's so quick to get rid of pieces, right? And then the following year, you may go through, Knicks may be a better.
Hey, wait! Time out! I'm not letting Josh off the hook like that because you're always talking about upgrading the talent and everything. So you're saying that you would have kept a Burks now? Is that what you're saying?
I would have kept Burks.
No, I'm not necessarily saying that.
Because you're always talking that, Josh, and I'm always the one trying to be the homer,
I kept.
trying to be the corner, the cornerstone,
Look,
everything, trying to
here's
get
the
people
difference.
like that.
Here's the difference between me and a lot
Okay.
of other people. I just don't want to get rid of people just to get rid of them. Like I want an actual upgrade. Like the person that I want to go get is going to be a ball handler, right? Someone that you know what I mean. So I don't want to just get rid of players just to get rid of them. But a lot of times people say, Alfred Payton, we want him gone. No matter what, send him here, send him there. Now Randle, we want him gone, but no.
Shit, we could have used Alfred Payton or just to bring
Another
the
ball handler.
Yeah, we could have. We could have used Alfred Payton. Steph, you was getting ready to say something?
Sam, you know my condition.
I was gonna say welcome to MBK, nothing but cornerstone. we gotta get them nothing but cornerstone shirts.
Oh, I was gonna say that I don't think we knew we were gonna be in this position because maybe we wouldn't have got rid of Burks.
Right.
If because you in a playoff, you do need some kind of playoff, experience type guys, and we just didn't have it. I don't think they thought we would be here. I don't even think the front office thought.
Right. Shoot, I wouldn't be surprised if you ended up seeing Burks back with the Knicks at some point. Tom Thibodeau
I
liked
would.
Alec Burks.
I would.
You know what I'm saying?
Believe me, the Knicks, the fans know, sir.
Yeah.
The fans
You know what I
So
mean?
last year, Sam. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I'll read it. Go ahead, Steph.
And people have been saying this in the chat. Do you let this group incubate and just get better, stay together, and just go through the wars and year after year get better? Or do you bring in some proven, not old over the top guys, but some guys who have experience playing in the NBA or playing in the playoffs? And I think that's going to be a tough decision for the front office.
You can't pay everybody either.
Because Grimes might be another year or two away.
Right.
Quickly might be another year or two away. I'm not talking about regular season. I'm talking about in terms of having an impact in the playoff.
Right.
Do you wait for those guys? And then are they now, from what we've seen from Brunson, are they in that same window? Are they a little behind? It's the front office is going to have to figure that out this offseason.
Yeah. Tony, you agree?
Down in the pecking order, that would be different.
Yeah, hold up, Kev. Hold up, Kev. I'm moving you down in the pecking order so that Tony can speak. Go ahead, Tony.
No, I think it's gonna be really tough decisions upon us. Well, not us, but that front office, because I think there are gonna be some guys available,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, I think the fan base is gonna be split on it. I think the front office is gonna be torn on whether to go ahead and pursue. I'll give you an example. Like the chatter that's been going around is Dame Lillard to the Nets, right?
Oh, okay, that's cool.
You know what I mean? They
Yeah.
have the assets for it. But obviously it's going to come up. It's not like the Knicks name is gonna come up, whether
Right.
they are interested or not, that's yet to be determined. But things like that, when a guy of Lillard's cachet becomes available, you have to look, you gotta listen, you gotta debate. Is this a guy that I want to bring here? Does he fit with Brunson? You know what I mean, etc., etc. So I think opportunities will be out there,
Mm-hmm.
but they gotta be able to either, like they did with the Donovan Mitchell, they're gonna have to be able to walk away from it and not make a mistake. You know what I mean? That I think jumping the gun and making the wrong move is worse
Yeah.
than not making a move at all.
I agree.
You,
I definitely
you know what I
agree.
mean? So it's gonna be
Yeah.
risky
And
business out there.
I know
Yeah.
you were using Dame as an example, so I know that, but I really like Damian Lillard. I really do. He's one of my favorite players in the league. I think he would be great in New York. I don't know if I want to pay him $60 million because
Yeah.
I don't know where we're going next if we got to pay one player $60 million. I don't know where we're going after that. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's why I would stay away from
But
Dame because of that contract, man.
even if it's let's say Dame's on the table, right? Cat is on the table, Levine's on the table. It's risking in all those things, right?
Well,
You know what I mean? And again, not saying that maybe the Knicks stay away from everybody and say this is not the direction we want to go. But when guys are on the table and you have the assets, you you gotta look, is all I'm
Yeah,
saying. You
yeah, yeah,
gotta,
yeah.
you know what I mean?
No doubt
So it's
about it.
gonna
But
be it's gonna be, and they may be pressured. You,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
I mean,
After the Donovan Mitchell, after
Yeah.
not having the shooting and somebody with Brunson in the playoffs, like it
ball
may be
handler.
pressure
Yep.
now to be like, oh, you know what I mean? So
I feel
it's
like
gonna be great. I
I,
like
f-
it.
I feel like this is going to be a good question throughout the entire summer, right? Um, I think it's actually the Knicks are actually in a good situation with having to ask this question, right? Because me personally, if the Knicks don't add a star, I want them to add shooting without a doubt. But if they don't add a star, in my mind, I'm going to be like, okay, you know what? We're going to see if this group can grow and get better together. I don't have a problem with that at all. You know, let's see, can they get better together? Because that's how your team, that is how you figure out who's going to be able to, step up. Does this guy a third year in a row can't step up in the playoffs? Well, maybe it's not going to work. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you know what? This year he finally figured it out and stepped up. But at some point, you got to make a move and do something, right? For the team to get over the top. But I think there's enough grace. There's some grace here where you can take this team and say, we can give it another year if they want to.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And see how they go. But then after next year, I think you really have to make a decision. If they don't get better, then you got to do something. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I think. Now, how much does the front office feel like
Exactly.
we got to strike now? Like
Exactly.
this
Right,
team
right.
is good enough. We're just one guy away. We got to strike now. So, but I think they're in a good position where they can
I'll say
give a
this,
little
Sam.
bit of time for the right guy and not just do it
Right.
for somebody who may not be the right guy. I think
I'll
they're in
say this.
position to do that.
The fact that they didn't pull the trigger on Donovan Mitchell and still had a relatively successful season and actually beat him, I think that's gonna make them stronger in being able to not jump for the next move. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we stuck with our guns and it didn't fall apart. Now they'll be confident to kind of stick with their instincts
Yeah.
next time and maybe not jump the gun on something.
Yeah.
Depending on who
I-
becomes available, though.
Right.
Right. That part. Also, the Knicks are not a luxury tax-paying team. So to your point, Tony, they could, they're not in a rush to win now, in my opinion. But there's always that one thing that we don't want to talk about. What I think is definitely a part of this conversation: James Dolan. The Rangers last year, they went to the Eastern Conference Finals last year. This year, they got bounced out the first round. The coach is gone 2 days after they got eliminated. So I think that's a part right there. I don't know how much Leon Rose as we're getting pressure from ownership to do something. Right. So I think that's a part that we need to consider as well.
Yeah,
as unpredictable as it is.
Yeah, no doubt.
I think that would be, to me, I feel like the Knicks have just crossed over into being, I don't know if legitimate.
On the clock.
Let's say respectable. Let's say respectable.
They've just crossed over into being a respectable organization. I don't think this is the time to change your coach. I just don't. I think they can easily go backwards. It's not like we 5 years into being a really good perennial playoff playoff team. But I will say, in terms of, I wish Randle would have performed better, because I would have felt much more comfortable saying we don't really need a star. We just need some pieces around the edges. With the way he's played, I feel like all right, we need another playoff year to really kind of see what he is. Whereas had he balled out, I would have felt really comfortable that we don't need a star. We just need some pieces around the edges. To me, the jury is still out on Julius Randle, the playoff performer.
Exactly. Because and the thing is, he's like just on that cusp where you say, all right, well, maybe next year he can do it. But I think after next year, if he don't do it, you gotta know, it's not gonna happen. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with you, but I'm confident. I'm still confident in his ability, in his bounce back. You know what I mean? Like, we've seen him bounce back. Granted, regular season, whatever, but we've seen him bounce back from some things that I don't think a lot of players would have the mental capacity to do and come back and bounce back.
And where's Obi falling at?
In New York.
I need a drink. I need a serious drink.
Hey Josh. Let me read a couple super chats, and I want to get right back to that. A Silent Sniper said, "Man, I don't even care that we lost. The Knicks exceeded the whole NBA's expectations. I'm proud of this team for that." And I agree 100%. You know what I mean? We definitely exceeded expectations, and I think showed a lot of people, that we're a serious basketball team, and hopefully that we're going to be around for a little while.
I disagree.
So you expected the Knicks to be in the Eastern Conference Finals at the beginning of the season? That was your expectation? Is that what you expected? If at the beginning of the season, I would have said to you, we're going to go to the Eastern Conference, to the second round in the Eastern Conference, and take it to 6 games. That's what we're going to do. Would you have signed up for that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hell yeah, you would have. Hell yeah, you would have been like, oh, all right, okay. But now all of a sudden,
here's the problem. Here's the problem. It was laid out for us in this round.
Yeah.
It was laid out for us.
Okay, let me ask you this.
I said, because history has always shown with us, we lose game 1 or any game at our home when we have home court, it's going to be, it's not going to be a crapshoot, but it's a strong possibility that we're going to lose the series. Right. And for the most part, it just happened again.
So was it laid out to us because of seeding? Is that the reason why you're saying it was laid out for us, because we were playing the 8 seed? No, it was laid out
because of how things materialized. Again, if we played a Milwaukee team, I would have no problem.
But this team beat Milwaukee.
Because Milwaukee just won the championship 2 years ago or 3.
Right.
2 or 3.
I believe it was
2.
Okay.
And the Heat was just in the finals 2 years ago.
Really? But was that really a finals? Was the bubble really?
If the Knicks would have been in the finals, you would have been happy about it. So yes, I mean, come on. Everybody had everything was equal for everybody. Everybody was in the bubble, not just the Heat, not just the Knicks. Everybody was in the bubble.
Okay, fine.
Was 1999 a real finals, Kev? Was 1999 a real finals?
No, that was a short season.
And that was the year I got married. So anyway, don't bring that up, because the day I got married was the first game between the Knicks and the Pacers. So that was a bad,
Sherman, I get you to this double team. I get it.
Yeah. So, but what I'm saying, Sim, what I'm saying is with this particular situation, it was laid out for us. It was laid out for us. All we had to do was win our home games, and technically win our home games, and we're in.
I get that. You're right. I get that.
We let one game slip.
I know.
And we could not recover down there after we had beaten these guys, but again, that's the regular season and everything. These are the playoffs.
But Kev, but also, I mean, you're right. It was laid out. We had home court advantage. I get that. I understand. We also played a team that had championship expectations coming into the season. This is a team, yes, really. This is a team that was in the NBA Finals 2 years ago, was in the Eastern Conference Finals last season, and not that far away from being in the finals last season. This is a team that came in with expectations to be in the NBA Finals. That was at the beginning of the season. Most people had Miami top 4 in the Eastern Conference. Right? That is who this team is. Okay, they've gone through a season. They had some injuries. They had things happen. We all thought, wow, look at Miami. What happened? Right? Well, I understand they're an 8th seed, but this is what good playoff teams can do. This is what they can do. Now, let me ask you this, because you're like, oh, we played Milwaukee since they were the number 1 seed and we would have lost to them and they won the championship a couple years ago. I'd understand. What if this team wins the championship this year?
What if
Miami wins the championship this year? You don't feel different?
Well, I can tell you right now, and I'll bet my last dollar on that. They ain't winning no championship.
Yeah,
this
you
year.
probably would have bet your last dollar that they wasn't going to beat Milwaukee.
Right.
Yeah, right. Well, you lost that dollar too, and you'd have been homeless because it'd have been your last one. You don't know. This team might be on a mission right now.
So what you're saying, Sam? What were your expectations of the series before it even began? This series right here. Saw that we had home court
before the series began. My expectations is that it was going to go 7. That was what I expected. I thought it was going to go 7. I didn't know.
Did you have us winning?
I didn't know if I had the Knicks. I wasn't sure. I knew Miami was going to be a tough team. I just knew with the way that they played, and I knew they were going to be tough.
Tony, I see you frowning. What was your expectation of the series right here?
My bad. I thought we were winning 7. I thought if we could shoot the ball, we winning 5.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not disappointed with the season at all.
I'm not disappointed with the season. Okay, I'm not disappointed with the season. I'm disappointed in the result of us being in the playoffs in the second round.
Yeah,
that's what upsets me the most, because again, I'm going to keep saying it. It was laid out for us, and that's all I'll say.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a missed opportunity for sure, Kev.
Say again.
It's a missed opportunity for us.
Yeah,
No doubt.
right. I'm just not disappointed in the season, man. I feel like we're in a good situation, in a good spot. I mean, 20. How many teams do not win the championship? 29 of them, right? Yeah. I feel like we're in a good spot. You know what I mean? And I'm not ready to throw it all out the window. I think we're still gathering information on this basketball team.
So
on
your
how we
expectation for next year, even though we just ended it like two hours ago, your expectation for next year is to keep climbing, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Keep climbing.
If we go out again in the second round, with us having home court, will you have a problem with that again?
Will I have a problem
Will
if
you have a problem with that? Yes.
if we have home court, I might have a problem with it.
Okay.
But we at least got to get to Game 7 next year in this round. In my
And you'll
opinion.
think and win or lose, you'll say that was you would say you would sign off on that as being
Win or lose,
successful
I would
season.
look at the season and say, okay, we're getting better, but we have a lot more information on this basketball team, and knowing that if we want to get over the hump, this is what we need to add. Because I think we're
Too
still
early for
gathering.
that, Kev.
I think we're
It's
still
so much.
yeah.
I understand it's too
We're still
early,
gathering
but I'm just
information,
trying to-
man.
I understand, but I'm just trying to get a feel of what you guys are thinking, going into next year, because we're always thinking about the future.
Yeah,
We're always thinking about
I think we're still
Thinking
gathering.
about upgrading the roster a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, we
I
got.
agree with you.
I mean, we got to. I mean,
agree.
every year you got to upgrade your roster. You got to add. You're gonna add things. You're gonna look and say, what can I add to this team to help us,
Right.
to help us get better? And if there's a guy out there, I mean, of course they're gonna look, and they're gonna, if they can make a move, they're gonna make a move. You know what I mean? If there's a guy out there, but Jamrock said, give the team a chance to incubate, replace the coach. I don't know if that's exactly giving the team a chance to incubate, though. I'll come back to that, right? I don't know, but I want to come back to the Obi thing, too. Jamrock, again, thank you for the super chat.
Hey
He
guys,
said,
I gotta. Yeah. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
yeah. Let me finish up, NBK. He said, how do you get a 65-year-old coach to change? I mean, I don't know. What's his name? What's his name changed with the Giants when the Giants won the Super Bowl?
I'll let you read that one.
Now, Ricardo said the Knicks need shooting first and foremost. If there is a star to be had, that's a no-brainer. Terry Rozier, Trey
I
Lyles,
was thinking Rozier too. I was thinking
Joe Ingles, Cam Johnson, Levine, or D'Angelo Russell. Let's not take this for granted. No, I agree. If there's a star, not just any star, if there's a guy, a star that you believe, fits with the roster, then I agree. I think you go get it. You know what I'm saying? And try to take this team to the next level.
Yeah. Guys, I got to go. I want to say I love you guys, to the moon and back. We did have a very nice season. We really did. And I was, proud of these guys and everything. Again, I was disappointed at the end result, at the way it was laid out, but it is what it is. We just got to come back stronger. But I love y'all. Love the chat. And we'll just hopefully we'll get some get-togethers this summer and everything.
Kev, we still gonna be doing the show. I mean, you sounded like you packing up your bag and taking it out the locker room.
I was about to say, see you next year, I guess.
Right.
I'm packing up the season because I know we're gonna have some fun this summer and everything, talking and all like that. So, but I'm gonna get off. Love y'all. All right, y'all take
Appreciate
care.
you, Kev.
Okay.
No
All right.
doubt.
Okay.
No doubt. We were talking about the Obi thing. Where does that leave Obi, you said? I mean, right now, you still have him for another year before you got to make that decision, right? Right? You still have him he's under contract for next year, and then I think there's a qualifying offer the season after that. I'm not sure.
Doesn't he go to restricted free agency if we don't sign him?
I think
This year.
I don't think it's this year. I think he's straight up just under contract this year, and then at the end of this year, you can give a qualifying offer, and if you give the qualifying,
he could take the qualifying and become unrestricted, or he could be restricted, and not take. You know what I mean?
Right, but it's restricted though.
Yeah, so,
I mean,
like if
this is the last year of his contract coming up, no?
Yeah, this is the last year of his contract, and then the Knicks would give him a qualifying offer, and if he accepted the qualifying offer, he would play under that qualifying offer for one more year. Then he'd be an unrestricted free agent. If he denies the qualifying offer, then he'd be a restricted free agent at the end of next summer.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So in regards to Obi Sim, I think this is a question. If I asked this early in the preseason, before the season, and I said that, what are the Knicks going to do here? I think they have to make a decision. And Tony was like, well, we can have both of them. I don't think that it's in the Knicks' best interest to have both Obi and Randle, because eventually you're going to have to pay Obi. And the salary cap is but so much, right? So they have to make a decision whether Randle or Obi. My personal opinion, it can go one of two ways. You can keep Randle, and then you can try to move Obi. Randle's under contract for the next couple years, right? A lot of people want to see Randle gone. To me, in my humble opinion, I'm just being honest here. If you get rid of Randle, to me, putting Obi in Randle's spot, Obi's not going to replicate that success. I think the Knicks are going to need a more sound offense to utilize most of what Obi has to offer. And I think you would have to get rid of Tibbs too. That's just my opinion. I know some people disagree with that, but I think that's the way I'm looking at it from if I was doing things, right? Obviously, I'm not. But they're going to have to make a decision. I mean, that's been coming up for the past couple of years.
If we're using your logic, that's an easy decision. like you're gonna get rid of your coach that got you to the playoffs 2 out of 3 years, and your second best player.
Yep. You know why?
No,
it's not for Obi Toppin. It's not for Obi Toppin. I just think the Knicks are, for Tibbs specifically, I think Tibbs is only going to take us so far in the playoffs. I think we can get better, and we can get a better coach to come in and take us further in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. That's number one. In regards to having another coach come in here.
Coach, because I think that's one of the traps we fall into. That's one of the traps we fall into. There are no guarantees that the next coach who comes in is going to be better. And he may be better offensively, but then there's something else that Tibbs does that this guy may not be able to do. And that's the chance, you take when you bring in another coach. But let me just answer the Obi thing really quick. If they decide on Obi, I don't think that you got to change the coach. Obi, you got to make sure that you bring in somebody that you can go to, because that's the difference between Obi and Randle. Randle is a go-to player. Obi is somebody who plays off of guys. So you really can't switch one for the other. So if you're going to go with Obi, you're going to have to bring in another go-to guy so that Obi can stay in his role as somebody who gets his shots off of other people, because he's just not a go-to guy.
Right.
And that's another reason, like you didn't name the player. You saying get rid of the coach, get rid of Randle, and it's not for Obi, but who's replacing Randle? You know what I mean? That's what I was saying. That's you giving up. You doing too much moves for what? You know what I mean? Like when the alternative would be get rid of one guy and then.
Well, again, Tony, I'm not just saying just to get rid of him, just to get rid of him. That's the point, that the biggest point that I'm trying to make, right? Right, as of right now, we don't know who's going to be available. There's so many different things that can happen. I'm just talking about in a general sense, right? Because ultimately, you're going to have to make a decision, either Obi or Randle. To me, I think you have to.
The decision is made, though. Like, I don't even.
No. If it is, it is.
It's the decision to make. Like, to me, there's no decision to make between Obi Toppin and Julius Randle, even with how he's played in the playoffs.
If you look at them as individual players, of course there isn't a decision. Julius Randle is far and above a better player than Obi. But I'm looking at, one.
Even on the team, Josh, but go ahead.
And the money, it's not like Randle's money is going, we can't afford to keep Obi because of what we're paying Randle.
Well, right now, I mean, the Knicks are just under the salary cap. Obviously, you can go above the luxury tax threshold to sign Obi. But I'm talking about in regards to Obi, like, are you maximizing Obi by having him come off the bench and play 12 minutes behind Julius Randle? No, you're not maximizing him. Obi has so much more that he can offer and bring to the table than the limited 12 minutes that he's playing a night right now. And the main reason why he's playing 12 minutes a night is because Julius Randle is your all-NBA player. And I'm not disagreeing with that part. I'm just saying, eventually, at the end of the day, you're going to have to make a decision. No question about it, Julius Randle is a better player individually than Obi. That's not in dispute here. I'm talking about in regards to the team, right? And the expectations of the team. And if you think your team can be better by playing a different style, right? And I think that is a question that is out there as well. I'm not saying for sure go ahead and do the other side. I'm saying that's just the other side of the coin, if you want to look at it that way, Tony. I'm not, of course.
But I would say
I feel like there's a million questions. You know what I mean? Like,
but that doesn't mean you could dismiss.
You don't got it. It's not necessarily Obi Randle. It could be Mitch. It could be RJ. It could, like, there's a million different.
For RJ, who's the other choice for RJ on the roster right now? There is none. Who's the other choice for Brunson? Like, who is the other choice at that position for RJ? RJ is locked into that
we're
3
clearly
spot.
saying that Obi is not the replacement for Randle.
I agree. But I think there is a question in people's minds. You're not maximizing Obi by playing him 12 minutes off the bench.
No, I agree with
maximizing
that.
Obi.
That's what I think you need to trade Obi, in my opinion. Because I think that, and shout out to Ron, still Knicks fans. He bring up a good point. Why can't we trade both of them? Like, I don't think it's Randle or Obi. I just, maybe Obi will surprise me. But unless the Knicks get in like a bona fide player at that 3 position or at the 5 position or something like that, I just don't see Obi making that impact. Like, he has to play off of guys. And I agree with you, though. I think you can't just sign him unless he's going to take $10 million a year. You just can't sign him to a contract to play 12 to 17.
Right.
I agree that we definitely need to upgrade at the 3 position as well, regardless of whether we keep Obi or Randle. So I agree with that part as well, Steph. I think that's a great point.
Yeah, I think Obi's going to end up getting traded. I don't know if it's going to be this summer or whenever, but before his contract is fully expired with the Knicks, I think he's going to be traded. He's going to go in a trade. That's what I think. I think he's going to end up going in a trade. That's how the team that's how the team builds. You know what I mean? That's how they build. You have to give up somebody or something, if you want to be able to add players.
Do you think it's a good chance that Randle might get traded? A good chance that not Randle might get traded, but you think the trade talk for Randle is going to be up now because of his playoff performances after this season? I think that's a possibility as well. That's another reason why the question is valid.
I think it's definitely a possibility. I think they're going to look at what is the best way to upgrade this team with still keeping, a good part of your core together and continuing to try to grow the chemistry. So, say, for example, a Giannis was available. There's no doubt in my mind Randle would be probably included in that trade. You know what I'm saying? So it's things are going to depend on what position are you trying to trade for. A lot of things are going to go into it, and how you're trying to build this team. But without a doubt, I think he would be someone that they would put in trade talks if the right player is available.
My thing is the teams that will be interested in Randle are the same. Like, they already know, the Knicks already know who those teams are.
Yeah,
those teams were already interested in him. You know what I mean? They're not going to be. I don't think there's any new teams that's going to gain interest in him. Especially based off of the playoff performance. You know what I mean? And what he did this year, they seen him do 2 years ago as well. And even in the bad year, I know it's the numbers, but he did it last year too. Right. You know what I mean? So the people already know who he is.
Yeah.
I think that's like a fan perspective, like, oh, his value went up. No, it didn't. Like, everybody knew who he. Huh? No, I'm talking about Randle.
Oh, Randle.
I'm talking about Randle being easier to move, or a lot of teams being interested. Like, it's a select couple of teams that's interested, but they've been interested. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think it's nobody that is on the radar now that wasn't on the radar a year ago or 2 years ago.
Yeah, I think is he going to be the first person that I think they look to go out and say, hey, we're putting him on a trading block? I don't think so. I think if that's going to happen, I don't think it happens until at the end of next year if he performs like this in the playoffs. That's when I think it happens. Then I think that's when they look and say, all right, we gave it a go. It's not going to happen. We got to make some other moves. You know what I mean? Black Yankee 79 said,
"Oh, my bad, Sam. My bad. I'm sorry."
Yeah, let me go back with that. Said, should the New York Knicks look into a healthy Paul George?
When is he healthy?
Problem is, can he stay healthy?
Yeah, can he stay healthy?
He can be healthy today.
Right. That's the thing. And thank you for the super chat, my man. Appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, when is he gonna stay healthy? I don't know. That's the thing right there.
He's the
But-
type. He's the
but
prototype.
He's the
He's
prototype.
the prototype of what
He's the
we
prototype.
Right.
He's the prototype. You know, you get a Paul George type of guy right there at that 3 spot. Add it with the group that you have.
Right.
That's you know, now you're talking contention. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now you're talking contention. I do want to. There's one person I kept seeing in the chat. I think it was Sherwin. You know, was saying a lot about Brunson and his defense. When a guy is giving you 41 points, man, 38 in the last game,
While being doubled all
while
game.
being doubled and tripled, and I'm not complaining. Everybody else
Right.
got
And
to step
Sharon,
up.
you make a lot of excuses for Randle's defense, though, but you quick to point out Brunson's defense.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I'm not gonna. It's nothing I can say about it. Everybody else got to step up and help. He's carrying such a load on his back. Everybody else got to step up and do something. Somebody else play some defense. You know what I mean? I mean, that guy had a load on his back and he carried it well. So, you know, I'm not mad. Did I see, you know, a few things here and there? Yeah, but I don't care because he was carrying the team. What are you going to do? He can't do everything. Can't do everything. You know what I mean? So it is what it is as far as that's
I
concerned
have
with me.
a quick question. Is before this season, I would think that we didn't really want to go after older free agents because the Knicks were so far away. Is that still an issue, or do you feel age is less of an issue now because the Knicks are a bit closer?
I think the age is less of an issue because I think they're a bit closer, and if you can mix in if you can mix in a couple of vets in there that have some of that experience, it could go a long way. I think, right? That's what Derrick
Because
Rose and
last
Evan
year I would
Fournier
have thought
was.
Paul George is too old. This year, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, because like that's
You know,
what.
the injury is more concerning than age.
But-
So, what are you guys' thoughts on Dame then? Because that was the main problem with Dame, his age, right?
I mean, I told you my
Like this
thoughts
week
with
Or,
Dame.
right, the window. Yeah, the window.
My thoughts with Dame is the 60 mil. I feel like just to get Dame here, I feel like you got to give up. I don't know if it's a lot.
I mean,
I'm
if
concerned
it's
about him
draft
and Brunson in the
incentivized,
backcourt.
yeah, I have the same concern that I had with Mitchell, as far as with Dame, as far as them two sharing the backcourt at their size. But if you would have asked me even then, I would have chose Dame over Mitchell.
Dame just seems so much shorter, but he probably isn't, right?
I think he's 6'4". I think.
Dame is 6.
I think.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I'm not sure. I think he's 6'4".
I think he's at least 6'3".
Yeah.
But yeah, I would have chose Dame easily over Donovan. Granted, I know Donovan was younger. You get a longer window, but there's no question marks with Dame. You know what I mean? Like even with as spectacular as Donovan has been, he's also had small moments. I don't recall many small moments from Dame. You know what I mean?
There's been question marks about Dame as well in the playoffs. There's been question marks. There's people who've been critical of Dame in the playoffs for either not getting there or when he got there, not doing more than he did.
Yeah.
He's just been on a poor team that didn't play any defense. And as far as Donovan is concerned, I disagree. I'm taking Donovan over Dame. Age, I think Donovan has a similar repertoire, in my opinion, and he's cheaper.
Yeah.
cheaper than $60 million.
Yeah. Let me get
Nowhere
to this
near a
phone
max
call.
contract yet.
Let me get to this phone call real quick. Caller, you live. Tell me the name and where you're from, please. Hey, yo, caller, you there? No, I'm guessing not. Guess that, or maybe they not paying attention to everything. I'll get them on the next one.
The chat is saying 6'2" for Dame too.
6'2" for Dame. I thought he was a little taller than that, but maybe not. Nico Black said, this was my all-time best year being a Knicks fan. Got to meet you guys in person. And I look forward to a positive future. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to a positive future with this basketball team, man.
Why didn't you read the other part, Sam?
What? Oh, Funk,
Except
except
Flex.
Funk Master Kev. I ain't want to talk behind Kev's back. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't trying to talk behind his back.
Especially since we ain't gonna see him till next season. Next
Right.
season.
Right. Let me ask you, when you say, yeah, we're one player away. Does that one player away include? Is that one player with the group that we have now?
Yes. Yes, to me, yeah. I think we were one player away, and that one player at the wing, that 6 whatever wing player you put next to Randle, someone that can take pressure off of Jalen Brunson as far as the ball handling, someone that can knock down 3-point shots and can be a sniper. Yes, I do think we were missing that one player on this roster. And for those that were like, no, I don't want to get rid of Grimes, I don't want to get rid of RJ, I don't want to get rid of none of those players. I mean, I think we needed that player in this series against Miami. I think we would have beat Miami if we had that player there and not the other two.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion on that.
Okay. Tony, what about you? And I think we lost Steph. As soon as I see she's, back, I'll get her back in.
I thought she was staring at the comments for a second.
I thought that too. Then I looked, I was like, she's staring too hard. It's for too long. So
I don't remember what the exact question was, but I think I agree with everything Josh just said. If that makes it any better. Yeah. Oh, dude, that doesn't include. You say one piece away, including who we have. Yes, I think so, and I think we're in position for it. You know what I mean? Like, it has to be draft pick as the incentivizer, but again, the D Rose and the Fournier, that's over 30 million right there, 31 million in salary that you could use to get somebody to cover the full bulk of a big contract. But I also feel like it don't have to be a huge guy. It don't have to be the big move right now. Now, granted, that doesn't mean we're guaranteed. That's going back to that incubation, adding little pieces here, you know what I mean, and little tweaks. But I think no matter what, we need to do something. We need to add shooting immediately, ball handling immediately, a little bit of depth, height, you know what I mean, a little size. But if we could get that all in one person, one package,
right.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
That would be ideal.
Okay. All right. Let me see if I can get this. Caller, you there? Hello. I don't know. Well, maybe I need to reset something.
But do you think we just like when we say we just need a little bit? I feel like we're just like glossing over the fact that some players just didn't show up in
We're losing you.
Yeah, I think we lost you, Steph. Froze up.
Well, and I think from what I did hear, she's saying we're glossing over that people didn't show up. I mean, no, I think those guys have to improve. They have to show up. They got to be better moving forward. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If what we got in the playoffs from everybody other than, I'm gonna say, Brunson, RJ, Mitch, even though he wasn't as good in the second series as the first, and Hartenstein, everybody else underperformed. Grimes underperformed, I believe. Quickly underperformed. Randle underperformed. Who am I missing? Obi, I'm not even gonna say he underperformed. Like, I was okay with Obi's performance in this postseason. We didn't ask too much from him though. You know what I mean? And it wasn't like he overachieved, but he wasn't unnecessary like a detriment. You know what I mean? So I won't even put him on that list of underperformers. But half the team underperformed.
Yeah.
Well, you also have to look at the roles probably being changed if you do get that guy, right? RJ wouldn't be dependent on to do whatever he need to do, or whatever he did this past series. It wouldn't be needed to do that because you have a guy taking huge, hefty amount of the shots that are available, right, between him, Brunson, and Randle. And I think the Knicks would be able to knock more shots down if you consider that player being there. So offensive rebounding wouldn't be a necessity as much, right? So I think that changes as well. It's not just a game of, the other players not showing up. So what if they do show up? Do we need to actually get a player that big of it? Because I think the entirety of the team's dynamics change at that point.
Yeah, but we still need them to be better.
Oh yeah, Tony.
Like RJ, I'm happy with his performance this play. He had 2 bad games against Cleveland. I think he was bad tonight.
I agree with you. I agree. Of course, they need to show up. I'm just talking about the getting another player at that 3 position, for example, right? Like getting a big time player, whether it be Jaylen Brown or getting Donovan Mitchell at the 2 or whatever. They're taking the majority of the shots. So RJ's not going to have to take as many shots. So when he wouldn't need to play, the way he's playing in this series was great. No doubt about it, right? But we wouldn't necessarily need him to play at the same level if we add said player here, right? Or Randle, right? We wouldn't need Randle to play at the level that he should have been playing at if we had said player here. Now, of course, if they do that, the Knicks win going away, right? But I think, adding another player of that caliber changes the dynamics of the offense and the team a little bit.
Yeah, and
not for everybody though.
Not for everybody. Not for everybody. I think Brunson still takes the amount. Brunson, no, just Brunson really, but for everyone else, yeah, it does.
I don't. Yes, I disagree. You think we asked too much of Grimes this series, and that's why he underperformed? You think we asked too much of Quickly this series? So that's what I mean. It's not like we asked too much of them. I think they just underperformed. They're capable of being better than they were in these.
Well, I was talking mostly about the starters, Tony.
Okay.
The starters, really.
Okay. And I think, to what the Queen I think was asking. We got guys that didn't show up, but we got guys that didn't show up, and maybe some of those guys, if you have to make a trade to get someone, maybe 1 or 2 of those guys are included. But, let's say for a guy like Randle, maybe having that knockdown shooter helps him show up in the playoffs, right? Maybe even helps, maybe it helps Quickly if Quickly is out there, show up in the playoffs. RJ did a pretty decent job until this evening. So, maybe adding that type of a shooter helps some other people to show up too, because the floor is more spaced. Of course, another year in the playoffs, maybe helped you to show up. Even with, if you get one guy, I still think you got to add shooting in order for that guy to have space too. You know what I mean? I still think you got to add some shooting to this lineup.
What if that guy is the shooter?
I mean, even if that guy is a shooter, I think you still might need another guy that can knock it down. A guy that's coming off the bench that can knock it down like that too. Because at some point that guy's not going to be, in the game.
I'll bring up another favorite of yours, right?
Who's that?
But I don't know how you feel about him at this point on this.
Terrence Ross.
No. I think Ross is a smaller move, but Bradley Beal. A little bit more size. You know what I mean? Like he's still he ain't a tall wing, but a little bit more size that I would be comfortable next to Brunson. You know what I mean? Like, all right, we not midgets out there. You know what I mean? Definitely could put the ball on the floor. Definitely a shooter. You know what I mean? Obviously there's question marks because he's less proven with a lot more mileage, you know what I mean? Like, but he really hasn't had the opportunities. Like he didn't make he's like in a Kevin Love in Minnesota kind of situation. You know what I mean? Like, the guy's good, he got the game, but he just never had the real pieces around him, never had the opportunity to kind of
I don't think he's
prove
leaving.
it in the playoff. I don't think so either.
I don't think he's leaving Washington.
That's the type of guy, like that's what I mean. Like that guy, but he's a shooter. And shooting is his calling card. You know what I mean? Like it's his
I feel you. I feel you on that. But I still think we would need another guy because we need some knockdown 3-point shooters. I think, you know what I mean. So even if you got a guy that a wing player that's a shooter and can shoot it, I still think you need another guy that can really knock it down and be knocked down. Unless Grimes is going to step up and be that knockdown guy,
Like a
you know what I mean?
specialist.
A specialist, exactly, a specialist that is gonna you fear that dude. You know what I'm saying? I think we need one of those. Let me see if I can get my man calling in. Caller, you're live. Tell me your name and where you're from, please.
What's going on, guys? It's Nick in Jersey City.
What's going on, Nick?
Nicky.
How you feeling, man?
Doing good. What a season, What a season.
Yeah.
Upsetting that they lost, but I could live with them losing on with the Jalen Brunson turnover at the end and Grimes taking that 3 at the end. It's like, the Heat would have been a 50-win team in any other season. They were the first seed last year. They're probably going to make the finals. I don't think there's any shame in losing to them in 6 after what the Knicks were expected to do this year. I think we accomplished the goal of, everybody's going to say the Knicks are X player away now, and that's where we want to be.
Yeah. Yeah. What are you looking at?
I have a question for you guys.
Okay.
Just who would you rather keep out of Randle and RJ long term? I think that's basically what the front office is faced with as a decision.
You think so?
Yeah, I don't think
like
that they're going to. I think that either Randle or RJ is at some point, whenever it is that the Knicks make a big move, they're either going to have to trade.
That's true. One of those guys, maybe.
They're building around Brunson,
right?
See,
what's
that I wouldn't have argued with if you said that instead of Obi, Josh.
They're building around Brunson for sure. I guess it depends on the person that who are you trading for. I think that's going to be a determining factor too. Like let's say, if you're trading for Cat, you're trading Randle, right? Let's say, or let's say it was just a player in that position. If it's a Giannis, you're trading Randle, right? If
Absolutely.
it's if it's a player that's in RJ's spot, you're probably trading RJ. So I think
right.
Now RJ may be a little bit more versatile because maybe he can go back and forth between the 2 and the 3. So I guess it depends on who you're. Yeah, I think who you're making that move for.
Sim and the 4.
It seems like you
RJ.
guys are saying we need that wing though, so that would be RJ that would be on the out then.
That's how I'm looking at it.
It could be possibly depending on what you have to give up. Like if you're able to get away with throwing that team, and maybe you can't, but let's just say if you're able to throw that team a bunch of draft picks and Fournier and Derrick Rose, and that team is happy with that, I guess, then maybe you can get it done.
Oh, that'd be great. Of course.
Who knows?
And
if you could keep the guys, absolutely.
What about what the team, what the opposite team wants? So you may want to, you may be trading for a Cat, but they may say we want RJ. You know what I mean? I'm just saying,
right?
If they say that, at that point, you kind of have to, if Cat is the guy you want, you gotta give up something. So you may not be privy to choose the player that you need, that you've given up. You know what I mean? It may be more of a demand from the other team. Or if you want this guy, we want this.
Right.
And it may not be the guy you want to give up. So
right. So
absolutely. And I think that the Knicks front office kind of owes it to Brunson, if they can, to go get him a number 2 before we go out and get a number 1. We could improve the support around Brunson before we expend all of our assets. And I think, unfortunately, I've been defending Julius Randle for a very long time. I could live with one bad regular season, in between 2 all NBA seasons, but the playoff performances is kind of disconcerting. In 2021 and 2023, I think we all know that he's kind of got, a low basketball emotional intelligence that when things are going tough, it kind of gets worse for him. He's kind of like the opposite of Brunson in that regard. And I think the Knicks front office, really, if they're going to make a big trade, before trading R.J. Barrett, I think you got to look to try to maybe move Julius Randle, improve the starting power forward position if you can, even if it's by signing somebody like a Jeremy Grant in free agency or something to that effect. Or, Kristaps Porzingis is probably going to be available. Karl Anthony Towns is going to be available. You should upgrade the power forward spot, and you still have free agent cap space for 2025, and you still have a lot of your picks left over after such a move. Go get Brunson a number 2 for next season.
Yeah, I don't know if I would I wouldn't consider Grant a number 2. Maybe Karl Anthony Towns. It's going to be an interesting offseason. Me, honestly, I think the Knicks are going to try to make some small. I don't think they're going to find the player. I don't think you're going to find this summer. I don't think you're finding that number 2 or number 1 guy out there this summer. That's just my opinion. So I think that they're going to maybe try to add some shooting to this lineup. You have, for most of the season, Tom Thibodeau used a 9-man rotation. And I think that they're going to use that one rotational spot to add a player and then see where it goes from there. And then I think after next season is where you see there might be big changes in the roster. That's what I think.
Yeah, I agree. And I agree with the need to add a 10th guy that could shoot the ball. And, I would love to see McBride get some playing time next season as well. But, then you're talking 11 guys.
Well, yeah. I mean, right. If you're assuming that McBride is going to get playing time, I guess it would depend on who you add and where. Let's not forget, you know what I mean? There's some guys that are going to need some contract extensions coming up too. So there's going to be decisions made about them. You don't have to make the decision this summer, but, there's going to be a decision made about them sooner or later. But I think, after this team is going up, I think you owe it to see where can they go. And, can you add some pieces to help them make it work? And then next year, if you have, you're having the same things, then I think you make a decision, you start moving pieces. You really start moving pieces, like core pieces, until you find what you want. But I just feel like the culture just started, 2 of the last 3 years they've been in the playoffs. I think the culture has just started. Julius Randle's the oldest player in the rotation at 28 years old. Brunson is 26 years old. Mitch and RJ and Grimes, those guys are even younger than him. So, there's a lot that I think I think the team can still get a little bit better, to be honest with you. And I think you at least owe it another season to see, can we get better? Can we get better next season? And if not, then start, moving some of those rotation pieces around. And of course, you're going to try to add something.
What are you going to do with the picks then? Are you going to just draft these kids up and then they're going to be riding the pine, or you got to trade the picks then to get something for it?
Well, we don't have a pick this year, unless we get the Dallas pick. If that Dallas pick, if we end up, if they fall out of the lottery, with they end up being 11th or something like that, then we'd get the pick. But if not, we don't have a pick. We won't have another pick until next summer. By that time, probably Obi and IQ, something's going to happen with those 2 players. You know what I mean?
Very true.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I don't know if the Knicks. I don't know if there's going to be a big splash this summer. We'll see. But I don't know if there's going to be. After the playoffs, though, usually, some things in some places jar loose. And we'll see if that type of a guy pops loose. And if so, then I think the Knicks would definitely be looking to be interested. And, Julius Randle's name is going to come up. RJ Barrett's name is all of their names are going to come up. Except for Jalen Brunson. His name ain't coming up in talks. No way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know, man.
Yeah, he's definitely the centerpiece. Very happy.
Yeah. Yeah, very happy with Brunson, man. He's proved that he's an all-NBA type of guy. I think he's proved that he can be a franchise guy. I definitely think he has.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah,
he's the new Ewing, except the point guard. He's
except
the
at the
face
point
of the
guard,
franchise
right?
for the next 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. But hey, Nick, I appreciate your time, man.
Thanks, guys.
I appreciate you. Yeah, I don't know, Tony. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we knew that this was gonna happen. You know what I mean? As far as just looking to see what the Knicks are gonna do, how can they get, how can they get better and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But for all intents and purposes, this was a successful season. The Knicks have grown. Since Tom Thibodeau's gotten here, they've been a successful basketball team, and I want to see where it can go. Call you live. Tell me your name and where you're from, please.
Hey, how you doing? This is Isaiah from Connecticut.
Yeah, what's going on, man?
What's going on, Sam?
Go ahead, man.
I see, Tony. I see what you did there. I see. I got something for you, man. Don't worry. Sim, there's a few things that you said that disturbed me. It bothered me. Can I tell you what those things are?
Did you call up here?
Yeah, I did call, yeah.
Then say it. What you waiting on?
You said you want to give this another shot another year.
Yeah.
I think that's crazy. I think that's insane.
I don't.
There's no point. Randle showed you who he is. There's just no point, son. To me.
Good. Yeah,
Look.
to you. Right. That's not fact. That's an opinion.
I mean, it's almost a fact.
No, it's not
It
almost
is.
a fact. Nothing is not almost a fact. Everything that we're saying here are opinions. The only things that are fact are things that you can't change. That's a fact.
I'm going to say this, son.
Right? Those things are facts. But you're giving me your opinions, but that's cool. Go ahead.
Look, I appreciate Randle. I thank him for what he did. It's just the end of the road. I don't think we go any further with him. He is what he is, and, that's okay. So,
I heard Isaiah
you just
say
got to be like
he
that.
wants Zion.
Yeah, we'll take Zion.
I do.
Right. Yeah. What happened with Zion this year in the playoffs? What did he do?
Hey, man, it's okay.
What did he do? I'm asking you.
He didn't play.
What did
That's
he do
okay.
last year?
Hey,
What did he do last year?
he got hurt.
What did he do?
He got hurt.
Oh, how long has he been in the league?
Yeah, it's been a couple of years.
How many? 3?
3, 4.
Yeah, 4 years in the league. How many times has he played in the playoffs?
I think once.
What did he do? What does his team do? There's not much we can say about it.
It's a
But go ahead.
Listen, man, all I'm saying is it's time to move on from Randle. The good thing about the playoffs is that you've seen Brunson can play, RJ can play, RJ can play, Brunson can play. You got Hartson that can play, Charleston.
Hartenstein. Josh Hart.
Yeah. Josh Hart can play. Randle can't play some. I mean, I'm sorry, listen. To me,
listen. I go ahead and get to all of your points. I'm not really going to have too much of a response because I know what you're going to say.
The playoffs this season, we had the RJ games. We clearly had the Brunson games.
Mm-hmm.
There was not one time during both series did we have a Randle game. So to me, I'm sorry, this guy's supposed to be a third All All NBA player, All Star. He can't produce a game for you. I mean, today, I'm tired of hearing about him, about energy, effort. I mean, defense. I mean, it was a joke this whole postseason.
Well, I would recommend that maybe you support another team because they're probably not moving them. They're probably not moving them. You know why? You know why they're probably not moving them? Because while he hasn't had he hasn't had good playoff experiences, but the Knicks also haven't had good playoff experiences until he came here.
Seriously, that's just, you're gonna use that.
Wait a minute, Tony. Is that a fact or not?
The dude is shooting 30.
Hold up.
I mean,
hold up. I'm asking Tony a question.
Wait, say it again.
Is it a fact or not that the New York Knicks have not had a playoff appearance since 2013?
That's a fact.
The only the first playoff experience that they had since 2013 was Randle on the team?
Absolutely.
Was he a part of them getting to that team?
Absolutely.
Was RJ on the team?
Yep.
Was he a part of them getting there?
100%.
Was Tom Thibodeau the coach?
He was.
Was he part of them getting there?
Yes. Let him grow.
Yeah.
Let me see. I hate when you do this, man.
This year.
Let him grow.
Wait a minute.
Let him grow.
No. Hold up. This year, the second time in 2 seasons that the Knicks have been to the playoffs, was Tom Thibodeau the coach?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. That's a fact.
Hey, Sid, what was the last Knicks coach that took us to the playoffs twice?
The last Knicks coach that took us to the playoffs twice. Who was that?
Jeff Van Gundy. Or Mike Woodson, maybe? Not twice.
They didn't go twice under Mike Woodson?
No. Mike, well, I mean, I think he might have been intern. He might have been intern. But remember, they let him go after Phil Jackson let him go after the playoffs.
So wait, hold on. So can I ask you both a question?
Sure.
Since we're gonna do this?
Sure.
What did he do in the playoffs?
Who?
No, now who? Julius Randle.
We just spoke about several different basketball teams. That were the New York Knicks. He underperformed, no doubt about it.
But I really can't. No, seriously. I hate when y'all do this because y'all do this with Randle. The dude plays like, I ain't gonna cuss. He plays like crap. Every playoff game, he doesn't give you a great game. We haven't had a great Julius Randle game.
Would he have been? Would we have been into the playoffs?
Okay, wait, hold on. So let me say
would
this.
We have been into the playoffs the last two times we made the playoffs? Would we have made the playoffs without?
Honestly, we probably would have.
No, we wouldn't.
We still probably would have made the playoffs. Especially this year, we probably would have still made the playoffs.
All right, that's opinion.
And nobody's disputing that. Nobody's out here saying, "Yo, Randle was balling."
Right.
Randle, you know what I mean? Like nobody's disputing that.
But,
right. And I mean,
Tony,
it's the same thing like the regular season, right? The first year he was here, everybody said, "Oh, he gotta go."
No, this is it. No, Sim. This is the difference.
The first year he was here, everybody said he gotta go. He came back. Even after he came back, everybody said he gotta go. Then he had the season with this fight with the fans. Everybody said he had to go. And he's been able to learn throughout those times. This is another area where let's see, can he learn? It don't have to be all or nothing every single time. Let's see, can the dude learn? If you get next year, you're trying to see, you're assuming that. Everyone said that after the first season. Everyone said he couldn't respond this year. Right? Let's see, can the dude learn? Just like we want to see, just like in the beginning of this, in the beginning of these playoffs, right? RJ, we learned about RJ. What did I say? He's young. Let's see, can he get better?
No.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I said he's young.
Hold on.
But go ahead. Go ahead. I don't even really care what people have to say because it's the same thing every season.
But here's the difference. No. This is where you're wrong, sir. This is where you're wrong. Randle, me and you had conversations I told you I'm gonna give Randle a chance. I said I'm gonna give him a chance. That was a blip year. And you could confirm. I said Randle's gonna have a better season with Jalen Brunson. I think Randle's gonna have the best season because he got to play like Jalen Brunson. I said that. Did I say that?
Maybe you did. I don't know, but
maybe I did. So I did.
I mean, maybe
it's okay.
Maybe you did, but what I'm saying is everybody has, with all of our players, the only player so far that we've gotten on this basketball team, Tony, that people do not have a short leash with is Jalen Brunson. Every single player on this team, people have wanted traded except for Jalen Brunson.
And there were a couple of games, maybe 2, that the chat got a little antsy with Brunson too.
Yeah,
like dude, like he been balling. Oh yeah, you give him one bad game.
Every single player, and as soon as we make a move and it blows up in everyone's face, they're gonna be pissed off. They're gonna be mad.
Can I say this, Sim?
Well, yeah, go ahead.
Who's the greatest Raptor of all time?
Raptor?
Yes.
Or rapper like Nas?
No. Raptor.
Who's the greatest Raptor?
Who's the greatest Raptor? Yes.
Kawhi Leonard.
I guess.
Greatest Raptor of all time.
I guess
DeMar
Kawhi Leonard.
DeRozan.
DeMar
DeRozan is considered the greatest, pretty much considered the greatest Raptor.
Why? You so that's your opinion. Because why wouldn't you say Kyle Lowry?
Okay.
Why wouldn't you say Kyle Lowry?
See.
Why not Vince Carter?
Yeah, because you say I know what you're about to do, son, because you already know where I'm going with this, and you trying to beat it.
I don't know where you're going with
DeMar DeRozan was an All-NBA, All-Star, probably got the most points in Raptors history, all that, and they couldn't win with him because guess what he did in the playoffs?
Played
Nothing.
against LeBron James.
Choked. He choked. No. Tony, you can still play good.
No, they played against LeBron James.
He came into the playoffs every season. He came into the playoffs and choked.
Played against LeBron James. But listen.
He shot badly. But guess what they did? They took the greatest Raptor, traded him because they couldn't win with him. They didn't even want to win LeBron.
Wait a minute. They traded him to get
available.
Kawhi Leonard. They traded him to get Kawhi Leonard, a better player.
Because they couldn't win with him.
Listen,
they got
if we're
to the
getting a better
Eastern
player,
Conference
I think
Finals with him.
We will all trade Randle. If we're getting a better player.
Right, exactly. Everyone has said that. If you're getting Giannis, you're going to trade him. No doubt about it. They traded DeMar for Kawhi. And they got to the Eastern Conference Finals with him. Not from the beginning. If you go back and look at the first 2 times they were in the playoffs, did they go to the Eastern Conference Finals? It took time for them to, let's see, can we get there? They pounded away. They got there. They lost to the LeBron James.
DeMar DeRozan still never showed up.
He did.
He was never good in the playoffs. He's never good in the playoffs.
Listen.
I mean,
listen.
We just go look at his numbers. He's not good in the playoffs.
They traded him for Kawhi Leonard.
But Sim, you're talking about Randle, who literally is next to guys that are from the 50s as being the worst playoff performers. The guys from the 50s when there were only 8 teams. That's not me pulling something out my ass. That's not me doing nothing funny. That's real stats.
Listen, I'm just gonna say this, and I'm done. You can say whatever you want. I don't care. Right? I'll let you go ahead and ramble. Right? It's the second time here in the playoffs. There's a lot to learn about being in the playoffs. It's not easy. Everybody wants to act no. Shush. Everybody wants to act like, oh yeah, I could just step in and do this and I could do that. Every player that comes into in the NBA, they should be able to step in and do this and do that. They act like these players don't have learning curves. That's a lie. It's not easy. It's work. And it takes learning. Sometimes it takes to get your ass bust to learn. Sometimes you got to get your shit wiped up to learn. That's how it goes. And that's how you do learn. It's not easy. But everybody wants to have a short leash with everyone and say, oh, get rid of this guy, get rid of that guy, get rid of that guy every time you turn around. Like I said, every player on this basketball team this season, except for Brunson, maybe Jericho Sims, people have wanted traded. Trade
No, they
RJ.
said trade him after
Trade Mitch.
Sims after the dunk contest.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Trade
but
Grimes.
Sim,
trade
my problem-
IQ.
Sim,
trade every single one. That's the way we are.
Sim. So why does RJ get it? RJ got it.
I understand that.
RJ got it.
I
RJ got it during the
understand that,
playoffs.
and I don't think and like I said to you, and this is where you didn't want to listen to what I was saying. Like I said to you earlier, yes, RJ wasn't playing well in the Cleveland series. And what did I say? Me, Simeon Russell. He's young. He's got to learn. He's got to figure this out. It's not easy. You got to go through this in order to learn how to do it.
And we got to launch those sample size. I know you
16
don't.
games. 16 games. 16 games.
Sim,
That's the sample size.
I mean,
16 games.
Again, dude, he's in Sim.
All I'm
He's in
saying,
the category
all
of
I'm
players
saying,
from the
15
1950s.
games.
all I'm saying is 16 games.
15.
15
He
games.
was out one.
He was out one.
Sim,
15
do you really,
games.
so
That's the sample size.
from a
What-
year from now, you really want to have the same conversation about Randle? You really want to have
what he
the
average
same
in this series?
conversation?
What he average in this series?
Well, 15 points maybe? Well, I don't know.
I think he's somewhere around 19 and 12.
That's not good enough.
You know what I'm saying? I
Not
didn't
from
say
the All-NBA
I didn't say
player.
it was. I didn't say it was good enough. I didn't say it was. You're acting like he's giving you 10 points and 5 rebounds.
I mean, he basically is.
No, that's not basically is. 19 is
He
double.
basically is. I mean, between
what I'm
that
saying?
and the defense, he basically is.
Listen, man. You know, you can say and have what you want. Everybody, D Nice, whoever else is in the chat can say what they want. I have my opinion. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why I have my opinion is because I have a little bit of experience behind me. You know what I'm saying? And I know it's not just, you know, one and done. Oh, yeah, this guy's going to get in and be great. Some guys it happens, some guys it doesn't. People have different learning curves.
But Sim,
But
when
he's a
are we
talent-
going to get that? When are we going to get it? Because my thing
We've
is,
been in the
Sim, I
playoffs
don't want to be a year from.
twice.
I don't want to, Sim. I don't want to be a year from now again. Here, next year, we're going to be talking about. Well, he's got to learn.
Yeah, but you know what?
He's got to do this.
Right. But my thing is, every year, you know, people said he can't come back from this. People said he can't come back from that, and he's done it. He's proven that he can fix himself. He's proven that he can.
Isaiah, you wasn't on the show earlier. We all said if he has this type of performance next year, he gotta go. Something gotta give.
Yeah, and
But
you know, and I'm gonna
Tony,
tell the
but
people
Tony,
in the
see,
chat too.
hold on.
Let me tell the people in the chat. Don't tell me to stop defending Randle or RJ or Brunson or Mitch or any of the players. I'm gonna defend who I think I want to defend. I'm gonna defend them. And I'm gonna say my point and I'm gonna say my opinion. You can think he's my favorite player. He's not. My favorite player is Derrick Rose. He don't even play. And I don't defend that because I don't think he should play. I have my opinion about how I feel about our players. You know what I'm saying? And what I think needs to happen with this basketball team. And this basketball team is rising up. It's getting better. We've had players on this team, Mitchell Robinson, Julius Randle, RJ Barrett. They've been here battling and grinding to help build a culture. And Tom Thibodeau came in and helped to put them in position to build that culture. And that's what they're doing. They're battling for you, believe it or not. For themselves too, because they got money in their pocket, of course. But they battled to help build this culture. They came here and we was straight ass. Straight garbage. 17 wins.
Laughing stock.
Laughing stock of the damn league. We were garbage. Terrible. And they came here and helped change this around. Believe it or not, like it or not.
And
They came here and changed this around. We wouldn't be here if they didn't come here and change this around. RJ, Tibbs, Randle, obviously Brunson. They came here and did that. So, yeah, I am going to defend those dudes because I feel like they put it out here. RJ wanted to be here. He wanted to get drafted by the Knicks. And as soon as we get a chance to, we turn on his ass.
And he didn't want to get traded. So even through the bad time, he still wanted to be here. After he seen what it's like in the fire, he still want to be here.
You know, I mean, with the laughing stock of 17 wins before these dudes came to this team. Come on.
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
Sim, I've never once, and you know, you might not be talking about me.
I'm talking about you.
But I never said I wasn't appreciative of what they've done.
I'm talking about you.
I've appreciated. Okay, I appreciate Tom. I appreciate Tom Thibodeau. I appreciate Julius Randle. But we've just reached the certain level, and they got us to this level. I won't knock that off. They got us to the level that we're here. We're a respectable franchise now. No, we're not the laughingstock no more. We're not LOL Knicks. We're not none of that. But you got to keep getting better.
Who says that they're not?
The way you get them.
They were.
I hate. I'm serious when I say this. I hate when you do this because when this happens again next year, when Randle does this shit again, you're going to be the same one trying to defend him.
How do you know that they're not getting better? Because they just got better from the previous time they were in the playoffs. This is better right now.
He shot 32% for the playoffs. I'm sorry.
But see, you're focusing on one thing. We're talking about this team getting better, right? And
Tim, to get better, you need the players to get better. He's not getting better.
You don't know what's going to happen in the later. You know, everybody thinks they know what's going to happen in the future.
How many times do we have to see him play lazy ass defense and him faking the go stop a 3-point shot, him missing assignments,
I didn't say
him
he's
doing
perfect.
all that, and him
Nobody
not scoring.
said he's perfect, but I guarantee you, the next player you get in is going to have the same type of issues. All of them do, and you're going to complain about that. Nobody's ever happy.
I don't think there's going to be any laziness. There ain't going to be no laziness, and there's going to be no mental stuff that he goes through.
Well, you know what? My man Sherwin was in the chat complaining about Brunson's defense.
Well, Sherman is an idiot for saying that.
Oh, yeah, he's an idiot because that's his opinion. But Brunson, you're gonna say Brunson didn't give up?
That's an idiot take.
But hold on, you're gonna say Brunson didn't give up some long fast break layups, which he did.
Brunson gave us 41
Max Struss, who Jalen Brunson was guarding, gave up throughout the series full court layups to Max Struss. Right?
Well, Brunson averaged 26 points for me.
Hold on. I'm not complaining about it. Listen,
good.
I'm not complaining about it. What I'm saying is all of these players have their faults. You know what I'm saying? And you get there, just like I said, you must not have been listening because you got your own cap screwed on. Like I said, okay, you get there next year. All right, it's been 3 years. It ain't happened. We gotta figure something out. You know what I'm saying? But I'm about growth. And I'm about trying to let somebody grow. But this was going to happen. Sometimes I wish that Randle would get traded to shut up a lot of people because he's going to go someplace else and play better and play well. I mean, he's all NBA for this team. He's going to go someplace else and play well. And he's going to learn how to play in the playoffs and he's going to perform. And everyone's going to look stupid. It's going to happen. And sometimes I wish he would get traded just to shut these people up. He ain't even my favorite player on the team. Far from it. Derrick Rose is my guy. Sometimes I wish he would because it's going to happen. I can almost guarantee it. It's going to happen. And then there's going to be a bunch of people that disappoint him is going to say, you know what? Should have kept him around. And other people's gonna say, no, he was just, he was bad for our culture. He was bad for this. And we're gonna be wherever we are. You know what I'm saying? But listen, I'm gonna say this though, too. Y'all can say what y'all want in the chat. I don't care. I ride with my takes and I ride with my opinions. Two dudes that defend Randle. So what? You know what I'm saying? We defend him because he's part of the basketball team, like it or not. I defended him back then. I'm defending him now. I defend every player on the team if I think they deserve to be defended. And I think everybody does deserve to be defended. Doesn't mean that I wouldn't make a trade. You know, but everybody got their agendas. You know what I mean?
I'm going to just say this.
Go ahead.
Again, my opinion, I think we reached the end of the road as far as where this team can go with Randle being on the team.
Okay.
I'm going to say in the second round, I've learned that Brunson can play, RJ can play. Hartenstein, Josh Hart can play. Mitch can play depending on the matchup. I thought it wasn't fair for him
Mitch
to be guarding Bam out of Bayou.
Mitch got his ass bust.
I mean, Sim, personally, I didn't think it was a good matchup for him to be going against a power forward like Bam when he's more of a traditional center. Now, if he was facing more of a center, I thought he had a better chance.
Right. So you're going to put him on Kevin Love? Who's you putting him on?
Against him, we had a bad matchup in the big position because they play small, and Mitch can't go out there and guard smaller players like that. Smaller power forwards like Bam. But again, that's just my opinion. But I've seen those guys play. Quickly, I don't know. Randle, I definitely don't. I definitely know what he is, what he's not going to be. And again, sometimes you got to cut things loose. I don't want to, Tony, I know you said you want to wait another year. I don't think you wait another year to lose more value because right now I think his value is low. And it's just going to continue getting lower when he can't perform in the playoffs. And again, I don't want to be here next year when we make the playoffs, hopefully, and he has another crappy performance, and then we get mad again. And then I don't want to come here, talk about this video, and then we go act like we don't know what we're talking about.
No, I always know what I always know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? I've never said that I didn't defend the dude. I've never said the dude didn't have flaws. And I point out his flaws when I feel like it needs to be pointed out. I never did that. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be where I'm at with him. That's that. But you said you feel like the team has reached the end of its road with the dude.
And we just got here.
Just got here.
Just pulled into the road.
Pulled in. You know what I'm saying?
I've seen enough to know that he ain't it.
Right, because you work in front offices.
Well, Sam, I have better choices than some of the front offices choices they made. I know the choices I would have made, we'll be in a way better position. But
no, we wouldn't. No, we wouldn't.
Yes, we would have. I mean, if they would have picked the players I would have picked, we wouldn't be talking about OB, and we would not be talking about having a problem with wings. That's just me.
All I'm saying is
we got swept in the first round, or
you did,
or lost in the play.
I mean, people act like we didn't just.
Tony,
people
Tony,
act like we didn't just get to the second round after only making it to the first round and go 6 games in this round. People act like we didn't just do that and say we're at the end of the road with this team as constructed.
If our all NBA player would have showed up,
I'm not saying that.
There'll be a game 7, right? There'll be a game 7 on Monday.
Nah, we would have won already.
Hey, nobody's not saying that. That's not what we're saying. You act like I'm sitting here saying he played great. Nobody said that. What I'm talking about is this team growing and getting better. And you're saying
grow with a guy that stinks?
You're saying this team is at the end of the road. I'm saying I think the team can get better as constructed, adding some other pieces, and we'll see where it goes. That's what I'm saying. And if it don't, then you make moves.
We thought the team was going to get better when we got Brunson.
It did get better.
We thought in the postseason it would be better with Brunson.
Hold up. So you thought that this team was going to the Eastern Conference Finals when the season started?
Then here you go. I hate when you do that too.
Answer my question. Did you?
Did this team exceed your expectations from the beginning of the year?
Tony, yes, it did.
So why are we not celebrating? Like why are we out here acting like we just got swept in the first round? Like, that's what I don't get, yo.
But Tony,
we got a whole off season to be negative. You know what I mean? Like, can we appreciate this season right now? Like that I mean, come on, man.
Tony, hold on. I stated before I was going to hold my opinion, but we've had a great season. But I know with that dude, we're not going to have another great season. Not with that dude. Not with him on the team.
Okay.
Not with him acting the way he do with his attitude and his lazy defense and his lazy ass walking up and down the court.
Okay.
You don't do that.
You know what else I am glad of, Tony? You know what else I'm glad of, Tony? That he's most likely going to be, maybe he does get traded. Maybe Giannis or someone becomes available. But most likely he's going to be here. And all these people that hate him got to live through it another year. I'm glad of that. I'm really glad of that.
You know what? I'm happy
really,
for
really
you
happy
too,
about
because
that.
I'm happy to you because when he does this again, I can't wait to talk to you about it.
Cool. And if he does it again,
And
I'm
then
going to
you're
say,
gonna, and then you're gonna act like, and then you're gonna act like you don't know about this video.
No, you know what I'm going to say? If he does it again, yeah, maybe it's time to move on. And see if we can upgrade.
If we're telling you right now, he ain't it.
Because
he ain't gonna win.
Because you're saying this right now, but you don't know where the development goes and grows. That's what I'm saying to you. Just like you, I can tell you right now, you sit and told me, no, he can't come back from having that bad season. You sat and told me he can't get better after his first year here. He can't get no better than what he is. You sat there and told me that. And he did.
Okay, Sim.
And he
but
did.
What did I told? But Sim, you act like you don't remember what I told you. What I said when Brunson got picked on his team.
You told me.
We had a conversation.
We had a conversation about can Julius Randle come back. You thought Julius Randle was going to be, yeah, I think he's probably going to be somewhere 18 and 12, 18 and 10, 18 and 12.
So, Sim, no, come on.
Yeah.
Why are you doing that, Sim?
Yeah.
Sim,
all I'm saying is for y'all people, for all of y'all people, I'm done with this convo. All I'm saying is for y'all people, I'm glad. I'm glad you got to sit through it again. And if he gets traded, I really don't care. But I'm glad you got to sit through it again. I really am. I'm glad you got to sit through it again because I get tired of the nonsense. People that they're not even Knicks fans. They have nothing to do with the New York Knicks talking dumb shit about the dude for no reason. Oh, he shouldn't have went and kissed his wife after a win. Get out of here. Go somewhere. Don't go kiss your son after a win. Go slap your teammates.
Nuts,
Get out of here with that dumb stuff.
That was nuts.
Nuts. Man. Retarded. You know what I'm saying?
That was stupid.
I wish my teammate would come say, "What are you doing going to kiss your wife after the game instead of high-fiving me?" I wish they would.
So yeah, I'm glad. I want all these people that hate him.
But Sam, what fan said that? I ain't seen no fan. I seen Kenyon Martin say that.
I seen some fans that agree with Kenyon Martin.
Well, they're idiots.
Sit through it. Sit through it. Sit through it.
I don't
Love
care what
it.
he does.
Love it. Sit through it. Love it, Big Bubba.
Sam, see, you're trying to agree with those people. I have no problem. I have no problem with that. All I'm talking about is on the court things. Well, off the court matters for him too, because that dude be bugging.
All I'm saying is, go ahead. Say what you got to say. I'm done.
Aren't you tired? I want you to be wholeheartedly real right now. F the people in the chat. I don't care.
I don't care what nobody has to say. I don't care.
Aren't you?
Go ahead.
Aren't you tired of we having to talk about, man, if Julius Randle mentally shows up, if Julius Randle doesn't have an attitude, if Julius Randle doesn't, he makes these faces or he gets in this mood. I'm tired of talking about a grown man in his mood.
Don't talk about it.
I'm tired of talking about his attitude. Now, I'm not saying nothing about his mental health because we all got, everybody got that mental health issues. I'm talking about the dude having a straight up attitude on the court. His lackadaisicalness. Are we tired of talking about that with a guy that's supposed to be an All-NBA?
He's not supposed to be. He's not supposed to be. He made the third team All-NBA. So what does this tell you about? What does this tell you about the rest of the people in the league? Are you trading him for another All-NBA player? What does this tell you about the other people in the league if this guy that you hate and you don't like this, you don't like that, is an All-NBA guy?
I didn't say I didn't hate him.
I know you didn't say you didn't hate him.
I tell you this though, Sim.
What does it say about the other guys in the league, though? Let me ask you that.
What, they had a good year?
No. If this guy is an All-NBA player with all of these flaws, he's an All-NBA player, what's it say about the other guys in the league?
I mean, Sim, that goes down to games played, consistency. You know, I didn't say.
Just asking you a question. I'm just asking you what it says about those guys.
Sim, Randle's a great regular season player. He's a great regular season player. He's an All-NBA regular season player. Playoffs, he's not showing up. I'll tell you this, Sim. If we had Spicy P on the team, if we had Siakam, we beat Miami. I think we beat Miami 5 games.
You don't. That's all speculation. You don't know that. Toronto had Spicy P. Did they make the playoffs?
No.
Oh.
But it was a Spicy P's fault.
I didn't say it was.
And they were in the
playoffs. And they weren't playing. They weren't playing. What happened last year in the playoffs with them?
I mean, Sam, you're talking about a guy, Kawhi Leonard left. That team hasn't been the same.
No. You just said if Spicy P was on this team, the Knicks would have did this and did that. All I'm asking is, where is his team now?
I mean, they're in the play. I mean, they're off now. I mean, look.
Right. Okay.
I'm saying a guy like Spicy P on his team would be a bigger upgrade than having Randle on the team. Again,
maybe.
I gave Randle a chance.
Maybe. That's cool. I'm great.
I gave Randle a chance.
I'm great. Give him a chance again next year because he's probably going to be on the squad.
We're going to have the same conversation.
And if we have this same conversation, I'm going to say to you, yeah, he needs to be traded.
Can I get a yeah, you're right?
Yeah.
Can I get a yeah, you're right?
Not right now.
All right. Listen,
if it happens again,
me and Sim will make a whole video for you.
I'll make a whole video for you. Say Big Bubble was right.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to be wrong. I'm not afraid to be wrong, but I'm also not afraid to go against the grain and not always ride the coattails of everybody else too.
Okay.
Low hanging fruit. That's what Tony likes to say. Right, Tony? Low hanging fruit. That's what it is.
Yeah.
King Imbert said Julius is still young. This is from Tibbs.
Oh, here we go.
This is from Tibbs. This is from Tibbs, not King Imbert. This is from Tibbs. Julius is still young. He's going into his prime right now. Don't worry, I'm gonna have another show tomorrow, where we talk about, because I want to listen and hear what all the players say and break down what they've been saying, and we can have this conversation again.
And so I want to make something clear, just for you and Tony. Most likely, Randle's going to be on the team this year. I'm not oblivious to that.
And the main reason I'm glad about that is just to go in the face of all the haters, all the people that hate to do it.
Hey, that's why I'm saying this right now. I'm most likely Randle's going to be on the team next year, and I'm not going to root against him. I won't root against him.
Yeah. My man Joel.
Publicly.
Yeah, my man Joel. My man Joel is saying it really, really good right now. Randle had a great year. The Knicks overachieved this season. People need to relax. Randle isn't the problem. We need shooters. I agree.
Randle shot 32% and was one of is literally the top 5 worst players.
But you're not understanding what Joel is saying. You're not understanding what Joel is saying. What Joel is saying is if you have shooters, you don't have 3 people guarding the paint when him or anyone else is trying to penetrate to the basket, and maybe you get some more one-on-one play where he can hopefully do a little bit better. That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying?
I just don't know what Randle needs. Randle needs the moon, the stars.
No. Actually, it's not that. Actually, if the Knicks would have had shooters, they would have won this season. They would have won this playoffs. If they had shooters, if they had guys knocking down threes, they would have won.
If Randle played better.
You know what I'm saying? If Randle played better, maybe they would have. That too. I'm not saying that he didn't. I'm not saying that wouldn't have happened. But also, if they would have had shooters with Randle playing the way he played, they would have won. And that's what Joel is saying. You need shooters to help open up the floor. that's really, that's a big flaw of this basketball team. But go ahead, go along with everybody. That's what people like to do. And I don't care, people can say whatever. And I want to respond too, since I'm on it. I seen people in my chat, you know what I mean? I used to like this show because, not in the chat, in the comments, I used to like this show. You know what I'm saying? But, they're going to defend Randle. I used to like this show, but this and that. I don't care. Go to another show then. I'm cool with it. I'm going to say what I feel. I'm not going to go along with everyone else just so I can feel like I'm going along with you, just so you can like my show. I ain't doing that. I'm going to say what I feel and how I feel it should go. Go ahead, Big Bubba.
Again, so
Yeah, Brunson was, D-Nice, you're right. Brunson was able to perform because he also gets screens. There's a big difference when you're on the perimeter and you get screens to help you get inside the paint than when you got to get the ball and you're not getting screens because people aren't screening for Randle. Not that, I'm blaming anybody for that. That's not the way the offense is set up. Brunson gets screens so that he can help get inside the paint. There's a difference there. You know what I mean? Well, people got to look at the game a little different, man. Go ahead. My bad. I didn't mean to cut you off. I didn't, but go ahead.
No. It's okay. Look, man, at the end of the day, we want the Knicks to win. I thought the Knicks had a very, very, very big chance to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. A lot of things didn't go their way. I think the main culprit was the poor player Julius Randle that didn't let us go to the next stage of the playoffs, and we got to upgrade that. Again, I'm happy with overall happy with the season.
Okay, all right.
Because now I've learned that RJ can play in the playoffs.
Cool.
I know Jalen Brunson is going to be a superstar. Josh Hart, great role player. Hartenstein, great role player. Those guys are on championship level teams.
Okay, well.
Mitch, I think depending on the matchup, can be there.
Brunson championship level team. We're still finding out about Josh Hartenstein. We're still finding out. I mean, earlier in the season, people wanted Hartenstein traded. Hey, my man Reek, he said, "I love this show. I just disagree with your Randle take." Hey, Reek, I'm not talking about you when I say that. I expect people to disagree with me.
He's talking about you, Reek. Don't let him fool you.
No. I'm not talking about him. I expect people to disagree with me. You know what I'm saying? That's what makes debate fun. You know what I mean? I'm talking about people that, I don't watch this show because they don't agree with my take. I don't want them to watch the show then. You know what I'm saying? If you're not going to watch something because you don't agree with it, then, go ahead. Keep your tunnel vision. You know what I mean? I like it when people disagree with me. I mean, I like to argue, to be honest with you. But go ahead, big
let me say this. Hey, son, let me say this, man. If you don't like the show, man, God bless you. We're going to still have fun on the show. We're going to argue, and we're going to make up. At the end of the day, Sam and Tony are my big brothers.
I'm not making up with you. When I see you, wait till I see you in the street.
It's on site.
On
site. It's a wrap.
First of all, Sam, you want to know the fact? Well, first of all, we talked about me coming down there. First of all, and let me say something. I'm not losing in front of my lady. I'm just all I'm saying.
He talk about, hold up. He got the nerve to talk about Randle being lazy. Seriously? Wait till we get on the court. This man be taking 20 breaths at one time trying to get air.
I'm going to just say this. I'm not losing in front of my lady, man.
Oh, it's going to happen.
I'm not.
I'm going to spank that ass in front of your lady. I'm going to spank that ass in front of your lady. She going to be mad. She might not even want to ride back to Connecticut with you. Like, nah, hell no. I'll take the bus.
Take me to Connecticut, sis. Listen, I'm telling you, Tony, I'm not losing in front of my lady, man. I can't. You think I'm gonna ride 7 hours back to Connecticut with losing?
You better not say that to her, because
Right.
hey,
So,
I'm 47 years old. My game is still improving. For all y'all that think your game stops, I'm still improving.
Hey,
Sim, watch when he pull up by himself.
Yeah.
He gonna pull up by himself like, oh, something came up. She had
exactly. Nah,
she
she
had a book
couldn't make it.
study.
Yeah. She had a book signing to do. She couldn't make it.
Oh man.
Because he gonna be like, nah, I don't want her to see this slaughter. But we're gonna put it on the YouTube anyway, so she gonna see it.
Hey man, you ain't gonna watch it that day. No, man, we gonna have a good time, man. You know we gonna have a good time, man. We gonna read some books. We're gonna read some good educational books.
Yeah. Nah. And look, I ain't really mad at the people that's in the chat. I came at some people tonight, but I ain't mad at y'all. It's all love. I mean, I appreciate the fact that you're watching me. I'm just saying the people that don't want to watch because they don't agree with the takes, then, there's other places to go.
Press fast forward.
Hey, listen, man, there's other channels you can go to, man. Listen, if you don't like good debates and arguing, then this ain't the show for you, man. Listen, sometimes it get a little heated here, man. If y'all don't like it, man, look, there's some nicer Knicks shows that are very nice and calm. There's some order to it. Go watch those shows, man.
Yeah.
Go watch those shows.
Yeah, man.
Respectfully, too. Respectfully to shout out to everybody. Respectfully.
Yeah. It's going to be hey, Tony. Off season already starting, boy. It's gonna be on one. Off season about to be crazy. I'm telling you. I can already see. We're gonna have some arguments up in here this off season because
we ain't got no draft picks, so we ain't got no distractions.
Well, hold on. Tony.
They going straight to the trade market.
Word.
Tony.
No draft.
Tony. Don't let us get the Dallas pick. Tony, don't let us get the Dallas pick.
I hope we do.
There's still a chance.
I cannot do this all off season. I'm telling y'all right now.
It's going to be crazy. The entire off season. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be fun, though. I'll tell you what. The Knicks, I think this team, one of these years, they're going to be, I feel like this team right here, I feel like this team, you get a couple more pieces, man, it's going to be able to go deep in the playoffs. Big Bubba the other day said he feels like this team can win the championship in 5 years, but now he's erasing that. But you know what I mean?
Now he want to start over.
I said 3 years.
Well, okay, he said 3 years. Now he's erasing that. He wants to start over.
Well,
now.
if you get if you get Jaylen Brown, Sam, I'm not going to go back on what I said.
He was talking about with the team that's currently constructed and with Jaylen Brown, right?
If you bring Jaylen Brown on this team, we win a championship in 3 years.
As currently constructed?
Minus Randle now.
Oh, now no. Because before you said with Randle, now you're saying minus Randle. You go minus Randle, you got to add more pieces.
Nah, he's saying addition by subtraction.
I think you go minus Randle with Jalen Brunson. I think you're gonna need to add more pieces. You're gonna need to add some shooting. You need a power forward. I still think it's still gonna be things that you need. But we got a whole summer to talk about it, man.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. We can't do it all in one night.
We have the whole summer. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. Because you know we're gonna do the keep 'em or dump 'em episodes.
Oh God!
Oh.
Do you wait, Sim?
You know the keep 'em or dump 'em episode.
The anticipation that they had,
bro.
For you didn't do Randall's keep 'em or dump 'em yet.
You remember that?
You didn't do Randall's. They was hounding you.
There was where the Randall keep 'em or dump? Oh, Sim ain't trying to do the Randall keep 'em or dump. We were saving that joint.
You might want to get that out. You might want to get that out next week.
Out the way, right? You know what I'm saying? Get that joint out the way. We did that at like the end. You know what I'm saying? Because there was so much stuff going on and rumors about Donovan Mitchell and all of that. We didn't get a chance to do the people. Sam forgot about the Julius Randle. He ain't trying to do the Julius Randle.
But to be fair, Sam, there's only one that you don't have to do, Sam. There's only one that you don't have to do.
Yeah, well,
You just don't got to do Jalen
that's
Brunson.
true. That's true. You know he ain't going nowhere.
But son, the two, I'm gonna tell you, the two that's gonna get you the most views is gonna be Quickly and Randle. Those two, those are gonna be the
RJ's
two.
gonna get you some views too, because like
Well, I think
people, it's still some people out there that's gonna want RJ traded. Quickly, Obi.
Son, look, son, we gonna talk about. Son, we gotta save those for later. We gonna talk about those for later.
But I'll say this though. What I was saying, the playoffs, man. I think that all right. So we had the first playoffs, a couple years ago against Atlanta, and then now, they made it to the second round, but doing like shows, and making content and stuff like that during the playoffs, I think is going to be, as the Knicks go deep every year, I think it's going to be great because you just get a chance to cue in on one team, fans from the other team being in your chats, talking, and you know what I'm saying? Like it's just great. And I think, with the Knicks, I think we're gonna be able to do it for a while. There's something about this team, seriously. There's something about this team. They're resilient, they're gritty, they battle, they fight. They know that they need more. They know that they got to get some things done. They're not afraid to look at themselves. And I admire everything about that with this basketball team. You know what I'm saying? And I think that that's going to be the thing. I think this team is going to win a lot of basketball. I really do. Because they have something there, I believe. They have something. They got to fight that. I mean, Miami displayed the kind of fight that this team has, but every team don't have this kind of fight, man.
Miami is like the older version of us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we still in the adolescence, you know what I mean? Like we got all the same attributes, same tools. We just got to grow up. We got to get that experience, you know what I mean? And then build off that.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Everybody, every team don't have it. And, there's something about this team. They have it. They're young. They got a lot of growing to do. Obviously, they're not going to be able to keep everybody, but the culture that they've built, I think, is going to be there. And I think the front office knows the type of guys that they want to get in. You know what I mean? And, so I'm looking forward to what's to come. No doubt.
And we were saying it from 2 years ago, too, man.
Yes, sir.
This team, there's no quitting this team.
Yeah.
I mean, son, look, at the end of the day, we, joking wise, but all season, this was a great next season. Great highs, some lows. But overall, I mean, you were 6 points away from going to Game 7 in the second round.
5
few
points
mistakes
away.
here, a few mistakes there, and you win this game. But it's okay. I mean, look, still learning. We almost beat a championship level team in the Miami Heat. We're learning. We are. And like I said,
that's the only thing I'm trying to get across to people. That's all I'm trying to get across to people. We learning. We figuring it out as a team.
We're learning. I mean, you learning it differently a little bit from me, and that's okay.
I mean,
again,
but let's admit, I learned more than you, so. Just saying. I mean, you literally just said we needed 6 points to go to a Game 7, and like D Nice is pointing out, we only needed 5. But anyway.
I mean, I was kind of going by the twos, but I guess.
I get it. I guess.
But,
you better get a math book too, bro.
Yeah, Tony, you really the problem. Let me tell you something. You're really the problem.
Anyway, no, you're the problem because you keep sending a message talking about, can I get the link to get into the chat? And it's the same link.
I do it every
You're the
time.
problem. You could have been in here. Okay. Now you taking up phone time for somebody else that wanted to call in and say something.
They'd be all right. You
know what I mean? Now you're taking up that phone time.
I keep but no, sir, no. This was a great Knicks season. This is one of the better Knicks seasons I've ever experienced in my personal life.
Exactly. That you've ever experienced. What's the best season that you've ever experienced?
Probably no. 2013 in this one. So
you said 2013.
I'm gonna say this season because this one's more sustainable. But again,
that's ironic. But anyway, go ahead. That's ironic.
I was 5 in 99.
It's very ironic that this is the best season that he's ever experienced.
There you go.
It's very ironic, but go ahead.
There you go.
Very ironic that this is the best season that he's ever experienced.
Can I just say my final thoughts, Tim? Can I say my final thoughts?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Trade Randle.
So first and foremost, I just want to shout out to you. What did you say, Tony? Tony,
ahead,
I'm telling you, Tony. I'm telling you, Tony, don't do it. I wholeheartedly though, I want to shout out to you, Knicks and Bruises, Queens Court, Controversy, Guillermo. You guys killed it all season. I'm really, really proud of all you guys. Did a great job with the content, all 5 of you guys.
Appreciate it.
Really, really great.
Appreciate it.
You know, seriously, really great job from all you guys.
Appreciate it.
We're gonna build on the team. Like I said, I was very super proud of RJ because the whole season everybody was killing them. Dead in the waters. First 2 games out of Cleveland, everybody was like, "This guy got to go." From there on, he stepped up. He had 2 bad games. Sadly, I think it was game 3 and this game in this series that he had really bad games. But he's 22. He's gonna learn from that. And I think we're going to see a really, really better RJ because he knows he can play in the playoffs. He knows it. And he faced a hard, cheating, dirty play Miami defense. So I think next season, we're going to see the efficiency go up because he ain't going to be having that kind of defense during the regular season. So that's a plus. Brunson, like I said before, we know he's going to be a superstar. I can almost... He's going to make an All-Star and then the NBA next season. And like I said, we got some great role players. This team is going to be really great. There's still a chance we're going to get the Dallas draft pick. The future's bright for the Knicks. It really, really is. Seriously, it really is. So,
it is.
Thank you. I know we're going to have a crazy summer.
The future is definitely bright. It's definitely bright for the Knicks, man. Look at.
Can't believe we wouldn't be saying that back when David Fizdale was smiling, getting blown up by 60 points.
You surely wouldn't have. You wouldn't have been. You wouldn't have been saying that at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wouldn't have been saying it at all. You'd have been. Those were some bad times. Some bad times. So we are. We're past. Feels like we're past that. So. All right, Big Bubba, man. I know you can't wait to go to sleep, so I'm gonna let you go ahead and go to sleep.
Yeah, I'm going to bed, man. Good night, yeah. And Tony, I'm coming for you, Tony. I just want you to know that you've been saying a lot of slick stuff.
All right, man. Don't forget to read your bedtime story.
Yeah, make sure you do that.
Yeah. I'm gonna talk to you guys later, man.
All right, peace. It's gonna be an off season, man. It's definitely going. It's gonna be.
I'm looking forward to the whatever get together we get next, whether it's the cookout or whatever it is.
Right.
You know what I mean? We can really reflect and celebrate the season. You know what I mean? Because this was it didn't end the way we wanted to. That's what I said.
Nah, I got another call on the line. Yeah,
we it didn't end the way we wanted it to, but you know what I mean. It was definitely a success, and I think it's a lot for us to build towards.
Yeah, no doubt. Let me get to him. Caller, you're live, man. Name me where you're from, please.
Hey, my name is Ethan. I'm from Toronto.
All right.
Ontario.
What's going on?
Okay, so this is this is my first year being this is my first year getting into the Knicks. I really loved their I just really identified with them.
Okay.
As I love the way they were just like a hardworking team, getting it the hard way. All throughout the season, when they were faced with adversity, they would overcome it. And I just liked this. I liked how the team gel overall, even though it wasn't like it was slow at the beginning. But I feel like when it worked like amazingly, and that's how we got here into the playoffs, right? And although the playoffs didn't play like how we wanted it to, as in we wanted we were expecting like quickly maybe to give us something, Randle to give us more of consistency and stuff like that. But I feel like we do have such a great foundation to that we like that I don't want to waste. I know I feel like Randle's played not horrible, but he came up short. And I feel like going into this off season, I feel like it's a very tricky situation here, where you don't know how good you had it until it's gone, kind of thing. And what if we do replace them and we don't it doesn't work, or it doesn't act like it doesn't go the way we thought it would, and maybe we don't perform the best, maybe we drop down a seed, maybe we're stuff like that could happen. And I feel like even though you may not some people may from reactionary kind of standpoint here, you don't want to bet on it going into next season with Randle. But I feel like as you guys said already, this is his second appearance in the playoffs, right? And I feel like he is growing from this, and I feel like the issues he's having is something that he can fix. I don't think it's something this is just him, it's unfixable. I feel like it's something that he can really with some off-season stuff, he can really work through and identify what went wrong and find that that ability to push it further beyond for next year.
Yeah.
If we do make it the playoffs again,
Yeah. I mean, I think
Yeah,
I think he can. You know what I'm saying? I think he can, look at it, and I think he will look at it and say, all right, what do I got to do to get better? You know what I mean? He's done it in the past. The playoffs right now is a big hurdle for him, and I'm anxious to see if he can tackle it. You know what I mean? Just like all of our guys, Emmanuel Quickly, Quentin Grimes. The playoffs is a hurdle for them guys too. Emmanuel Quickly, second year in the playoffs. Obi Toppin, second year. Mitchell Robinson, basically his first year. So it's something new for these guys to learn. And figure out how to get better. Figure out how do I become effective in the playoffs.
Yeah, for sure. And as I said, it's a third year. We're still rebuild. People forget, this is still we're still rebuilding. And I feel like the season's gone so good that, a lot of it's being fast tracked now, right? Everyone's expectations are way ahead than it was when the year started. And I feel like that can, that can tunnel vision you into, as I said, making some, trades or some decisions that can bite you going into next season. And also, I was also wondering, I don't know if you guys noticed this in this game, but I feel like even though Randle took some bad shots and stuff, I feel like a lot of these shots he was taking, was down on the clock. He was kind of, I want to say forced to take them, but they were very bad positions to take these shots. And I feel like, if they go in, they go in, but if they don't, it the next shot is harder to go. And as you know, Randle is a very, if it goes in for him, gets it rolling, he's probably going to end the night with spectacular efficiency or whatnot. If it doesn't go in for him, it's going to end the night. He's very it's either or of the extreme. It's very rarely it's in the middle,
Yeah. I think he, I think, what you said about that coming down to, the last few seconds of the shot clock had to do with not Randle, but the defense of the Miami Heat. You know what I mean? trying to find a shot here, there. The ball is moving, and then it gets into his hands, late in the shot clock. You know what I mean? And the Knicks have got to figure out how to make their offense better. They got to figure out how to make their offense better.
I'm not. Yeah, I was going to ask you guys, what do you guys think of, I thought, as you guys even mentioned, shooting really hurt this team, the way they're packing, the Heat was packing the paint, making it very hard for us to get inside the paint, right? And as I said, they were just, they would hang off of Hart, they would hang off of, sometimes they would hang off of Barrett to either double Brunson or Randle and stuff like that.
Yeah, you still there? I think we lost him. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah.
The Heat had a game plan. They executed it. They were willing to live and die with how we shoot. You know what I mean? If we was gonna shoot lights out, I think they knew it was gonna be a tough challenge for us, for them to beat us. But they were willing to live with that, and we didn't come through. We didn't hit those big shots.
Yeah.
But anyway, I gotta get out of here, Sim. I gotta work in 4 hours.
I'm about to get out of here too, man. It's like 2:00 in the morning. We've been on for over 3 hours. One of those old school shows right here. You know what I mean? Arguing and all of that stuff. But get up out of here. I'll probably be back on. I know not tomorrow, maybe Sunday. We'll start looking at some off-season stuff. You know what I mean? And we'll have some topics to talk about. I'll get onto a schedule. You know what I mean, of when we're going to look at, when we're going to talk about what's going on in the offseason. Obviously, we're going to be doing our keep 'em and dump 'em stuff and a whole bunch of stuff. You know what I mean? So, fun season. It was a fun season. Really did like this season. I hate that it has to end. I really thought we was going to a game 7. But, Miami proved to be the better team tonight, man. And I'm just looking forward to what we got going on in the future. And I'm looking forward to a bunch of arguments this summer, too.
Agreed, man. I'm looking forward to season 2 of the Losers Lounge.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Bring that back next year.
No doubt
that was
about
definitely a great experience, man. I appreciate you for, extending the platform and
yeah, man,
helping me put that vision together. So
yeah, and everybody in the
chat, man.
Yeah, man, everybody in the chat, I appreciate you all. It's all love, man. I was coming at some of you guys, but it's all love. I love you guys. Appreciate you for rocking with me all the time, and we're gonna have a great summer. We got a lot of stuff that we're gonna be doing this summer. You know what I mean? So, just stay tuned. We're gonna keep you updated on everything that's happening and going on.
The season's over, but MBK is not. Like, we got things coming.
Yeah, we got a season we got to look back at the season and grade the season, grade the coaching, grade the front office, grade the players, keep them a dumping, all of that to do it. Then, we get into, looking at what the Knicks might do at the draft. If they're going to do anything, obviously they don't have a draft pick, but players they might try to sign, trades that could happen. There's a lot of rumors going to be going around. So there we go. Anything else, Tony?
Nah, man. I'm just, I wasn't gonna let the loss tonight mess up my energy for the season. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's why I just tried to stay level-headed tonight. And look at the whole year. And doing that, it was definitely a success. And just looking forward to seeing how they grow and how fast they grow and how far they can get.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we out of here. Peace.
This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Postgame reviews, this the place to tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK. nothing but Knicks.